This girl, because she wanted to find a boyfriend, intentionally runs backward to him every day. She never expected that afterward, she would meet a man who is a chaebol heir with trillions of won assets. Looking at the man who is 18 cm taller than her, makes Ju-mi feel embarrassed. Seeing that he is very handsome instantly, makes Ju-mi infatuated. But before she can react, the man pushes her away with an apathetic face, and then continues running. His coldness makes Ju-mi even more devastated. From then on, Ju-mi has entered days of daydreaming. Her mind is filled with that man's image, like she has lost her soul. To soothe the pain of love, Ju-mi runs every day in the early morning. But even though her lungs are about to explode, she has never met that man again. Because of this, she has started to become dull. Ju-mi thought she no longer had a fate with him. Unexpectedly, today after she has finished her interview, she accidentally sees Woo Jin. Ju-mi is overjoyed, and quickly runs over to greet her male god. But who would have known that Woo Jin has no impression on her at all? He again pushes her away with an apathetic face, making Ju-mi extremely disappointed. But Ju-mi still doesn't give up. She is still determined to run in the morning by the river every day. Finally, hard work pays off. Woo Jin appears again. Ju-mi quickly fixes her hair, and then she proactively runs up to him to start a conversation. This time, he recognizes Ju-mi. She is overjoyed like she has struck gold, and immediately invites Woo Jin to run together. She says that the effects of exercising in this way will be better, but Woo Jin, with his iron will, is still silent. Ju-mi has to run backward while talking to him. As a result, she accidentally trips and falls into the river. To make it even worse, she doesn't know how to swim. Seeing that Ju-mi is about to drown, Woo Jin hurriedly jumps in to save her. When Ju-mi wakes up, she learns that Woo Jin has brought her to the hospital. The doctor says that he has paid the medical bill and left her a business card. Ju-mi learns that his name is Woo Jin, and he is the business director of a resort company. Although Ju-mi almost lost her life, she is very happy to receive Woo Jin's contact information. To get closer to her dream lover, she makes an excuse to return the medical fees, and then goes to Woo Jin's company. However, as a wealthy boss, Woo Jin doesn't care at all about the small amount of money. He directly refuses Ju-mi's request to meet. She has no other choice, and has to find his office, and then personally hand over the money. Woo Jin is very unhappy. He immediately says that they will never meet again in the future. Ju-mi is heartbroken by this shock. She promises herself that she will never come here again. But when she gets home, she starts hypnotizing herself again, telling herself to be brave and not be afraid of difficulties. Then the next day, she summoned all her courage to go to Woo Jin's office. This time, Woo Jin is speechless. To make her give up in the face of difficulties, Woo Jin says unpleasant things to her, telling Ju-mi to quickly leave. At this moment, Ju-mi, although tears are falling, still explains that she isn't a frog wanting to eat swan meat. After saying that, she runs while crying. Why is Woo Jin so cold? It's because he has an autocratic chaebol father. His mom lived a very unhappy life. Under that pressure, she passed away very early. After his stepmother married his dad, he has never seen his stepmother smile even once. This is casting a serious shadow on his family life. From then on, Woo Jin simply stopped interacting with women. His family wants him to go on blind dates, and Woo Jin is also finding every way to avoid it. Ju-mi at this moment hates him, and she swears that she will never meet Woo Jin again. But soon after, when she and her best friend go out to dinner, she meets Woo Jin again. She wants to pretend that she doesn't know him, but she sees that Woo Jin is dead drunk. He even forgets to bring his bag when he leaves. Ju-mi is worried that there is something important in his bag, so she asks her best friend to give the bag to Woo Jin. After her friend completes the mission, she pulls Ju-mi away. But how can Ju-mi be at ease? Seeing Woo Jin lying on the grass, she tells her best friend to leave first. Then she stays to take care of Woo Jin. But no matter how Ju-mi calls out, she can't wake him up. Having no choice, Ju-mi has to call home to report the matter to her grandmother. She says that her friend is drunk, so she wants to stay and take care of him, and will come home a little late. She didn't expect that she would have to wait until dawn. Ju-mi also accidentally falls asleep. When Woo Jin wakes up, he discovers that he not only slept on the ground, but there is also a woman beside him. Ju-mi also wakes up at this moment, and Woo Jin quickly asks what happened. Ju-mi explains what happened last night. Because she didn't go home all night, Ju-mi is worried that she will be blamed by her family. She quickly stands up and leaves. Seeing that Ju-mi didn't come home last night, her grandmother scolds her. The aunt beside her continues to defend her, so the grandmother doesn't pursue the matter any further. On the other hand, Woo Jin is 35 years old but is busy working all day, and has never had a relationship before, which makes his family very worried. To have him get married soon, his chaebol father has told his uncle, to help him find a date. But Woo Jin has tried to avoid it in every way possible. People started wondering if maybe he just wasn't into women. Not wanting people to misunderstand, Woo Jin has to explain that he isn't confident that he can bring happiness to women, because he is very similar to his ruthless father, Jang Byung. His dad couldn't bring happiness to his late mom and his current stepmother, and he thinks that he will be just like his dad. Of course, his family can't accept this reason. They all think that he just hasn't met the person he likes, so they are trying their best to persuade him to go on a date. His overbearing father, Jang Byung, also doesn't care what his reason is. He only wants him to bring a daughter-in-law back here, and the two of them have a big argument about this matter. After his stepmother learns about the knot in Woo Jin's heart, she also starts to persuade him. She says that she isn't as sad as Woo Jin thinks, and that actually, she is also very happy. It's just that Woo Jin's dad doesn't show it. Woo Jin knows that if he continues to refuse to go on a date, his family will bother him. He has no other choice but to go to the appointment. At first, he only wanted to come, say a few sentences, and then leave to be done with it. But unexpectedly, the girl sees that he has a successful career and a handsome face. So she falls for him. She starts talking to Woo Jin immediately, and even wants to have 3 kids with him. Seeing that her speed is too fast, if he doesn't break, then it will be too late. Woo Jin quickly lies and says that he already has someone he likes. It's just that he's afraid his family will blame him, so he's forced to go on dates like this. However, the girl doesn't believe it at all and thinks that Woo Jin doesn't like her. At this moment, Jumi appears just in time. Woo Jin comes up with a plan. He directly stands up and goes to Jumi's side. He pulls Jumi to the rich girl's side and introduces that Jumi is the person he likes. Seeing this scene, the rich girl has no other choice but to get angry and leave. Jumi also understands that Woo Jin is doing this to escape the date. Although Jumi knows that she is being used, she is very happy, because at least she knows that Woo Jin is single. Woo Jin's actions make her friend dissatisfied, but Jumi doesn't care. When Woo Jin gets home, everyone asks him what happened. Woo Jin has to lie and say that he really is dating, but still doesn't have any plans to get married. He thought that his family would stop there, but his dad learns that he has a girlfriend, so he insists that he bring her home to meet them. Woo Jin in his heart is confused and doesn't know what to do, because he doesn't know Jumi at all. However, his dad can't wait any longer and keeps urging him to bring his girlfriend home. Luckily, before that, Jumi had left him a business card. In desperation, he has no choice but to call Jumi's phone number. At this moment, she has just woken up. Seeing that Woo Jin has proactively called her, Jumi is simply happier than winning the lottery. Then Woo Jin asks her to get a drink. Jumi is very curious as to why he wants to meet her. He requests Jumi to pretend to be his girlfriend again. Jumi is terrified after hearing this, because she doesn't want to lie. Woo Jin says that the situation is very urgent, so he can only ask Jumi. Seeing that her male god is requesting her so sincerely, Jumi softens and has no choice but to reluctantly agree. But she has one condition, and that is that Woo Jin has to smile at her once. That's just a small condition. But for Woo Jin, doing that is harder than ascending to the heavens, because he really can't smile. Instead, he would rather give her money or treat her to a meal. But Jumi's attitude is very firm. As long as he sends her a picture of his smiling face, then she will agree to Woo Jin's request. This time, Woo Jin can't refuse. To complete the mission, Woo Jin has to practice smiling continuously. Even when going to the bathroom or breathing air, he isn't idle. But he sees that his expression is still too bad, and in his heart, he is extremely uncomfortable. So when he gets back home, Woo Jin winks at his phone. After struggling for a long time, he finally manages to take a picture of his smiling face and sends it to Jumi. The moment she sees the picture, Jumi is so happy that she bursts out laughing. The next day, when the two people meet, Jumi can't stop laughing. To avoid awkwardness, the two people exchange information with each other. At that time, Woo Jin learns that Jumi's dad passed away from a serious illness, and she lost contact with her mom after her mom left home. She and her older sister were raised by their grandmother. After being fully prepared, Jumi goes with Woo Jin to his house. Looking at the luxurious mansion in front of her, Jumi can't help but marvel at his family background. The two people go inside the house. Jumi is very worried at first, but after seeing how approachable Woo Jin's stepmother is, Jumi relaxes a lot. Soon after, Woo Jin's dad also appears in a wheelchair. Jumi is a little shocked when seeing this. She didn't expect that the chairman of the Jang Byung group would be disabled, but even when he's sitting in a wheelchair, he still gives off a kind of frightening dignity. He starts chatting with Jumi. Jumi not only talks about her age, but she also tells the chairman about her work situation. When talking about the experience of the two people meeting, Jumai recounts the story of her meeting Woo Jin while running that day in the morning. In the process of chatting, Jumi's optimistic and cheerful personality also makes the chairman and his wife feel more favorably toward her. After finishing the meeting, Woo Jin brings Jumai back home. Jumai feels very happy and even jokes that if next time he still needs a fake girlfriend, then she will be willing to help. Woo Jin coldly says that there will never be a next time. Unexpectedly, as soon as she gets out of the car, Jumi runs into her aunt. Seeing a tall, rich, and handsome man bring Jumai home in a luxurious car, of course, a gossipy aunt can't let it pass. She doesn't care whether the two are dating or not. She immediately pulls Woo Jin into the house. The aunt is loud and asks Jumai to call her grandmother and older sister outside. She constantly introduces that Jumai's boyfriend is here. Seeing that the whole family has misunderstood, Jumi quickly explains that the two of them aren't lovers, because last time she was saved by him when she fell into the river, so she invited him to eat. Jumai thinks that after explaining this, the whole family will calm down a little, but unexpectedly, after learning that Woo Jin is Jumi's savior, the whole family becomes even more enthusiastic and immediately takes out coffee to treat Woo Jin. For a high-quality man like Woo Jin, of course, her aunt wants him to be her son-in-law. She starts a household investigation regime. As soon as she opens her mouth, she not only asks about Woo Jin's work situation, but she also asks him about his family circumstances. Everyone feels that what she is doing is inappropriate, but she doesn't care. She is so excited that she even accidentally spills water on Woo Jin. Seeing this, Jumai quickly takes out a tissue to wipe him. The moment he grabs her hand, both of them stop moving. Their eyes meet, making the atmosphere extremely awkward. Although this reception was a little embarrassing and sudden, Woo Jin feels very happy about the relaxation in Jumi's home. While running in the morning the next day, the two people meet again by the river. Jumai thinks that she has helped Woo Jin a lot, so Woo Jin will thank her. Unexpectedly, Woo Jin just says thank you, and then he apathetically pushes her to the side and continues running. Seeing that Woo Jin looks so cold and apathetic, immediately stirs up Jumi's desire to conquer, and she decides to make Woo Jin smile at her one more time. So she prepares a plan. She takes pictures of her funny emotions and sends them to Woo Jin. Although Woo Jin has seen it, he doesn't smile. Seeing that Woo Jin doesn't reply, Jumai is also very disappointed, but she doesn't give up. The next day, she continues to send him pictures. This time, Woo Jin still doesn't respond. Jumai also goes from disappointment to anger. Who knew that at this moment Jumai would receive a call from Woo Jin's dad? He says that he wants her to come to his house to eat. This makes Jumi terrified. She quickly contacts Woo Jin, but whether it's calling or sending a text message, Woo Jin still doesn't reply. Jumai has no other choice and has to go to Woo Jin's house alone. The sudden invitation from Chairman Jang makes her a little uneasy. The chairman had just heard that Jumai had never gone to any resorts, so he gave Jumai a few resort vouchers to the company's resorts. After seeing the text messages Jumai sent him, Woo Jin runs home as fast as he can. He sees Jumi and his stepmother going into the kitchen to cook. All of this makes Woo Jin feel unhappy. He immediately pulls Jumai to leave and confirms for sure that the two haven't intended to get married yet. Chairman Jang is very angry after hearing this. The two also have a very unpleasant argument. Jumi isn't satisfied with him. She explains that the chairman only wanted to give her a few travel vouchers and didn't force them to get married. Woo Jin shouldn't treat his dad with that attitude. Woo Jin realizes that he has misunderstood his dad, but he still tells Jumai that the next time his dad makes an appointment, she should directly refuse him. Jumai complains that he is too apathetic. She has sent him so many ugly pictures, but he still doesn't smile. Unexpectedly, Woo Jin says that he did smile, he just didn't reply. Jumi is overjoyed when hearing this. Then Jumi requests Woo Jin to apologize to his dad. Under her influence, Woo Jin apologizes to him. Seeing that his son has changed because of Jumi, the chairman also decides that Jumi should be his daughter-in-law. On the way back home, Jumi is frolicking like a white rabbit and jumping around. As soon as she gets home, she reports the good news to her family, that she can go on a trip for free. Both her grandmother and older sister are very happy. The aunt immediately suggests going straight to the resort the next day. She has lived for almost 50 years, but has never been to such a luxurious place. However, Jumi's older sister thinks that her aunt's son is going to school, so she suggests moving it to Friday. This way, they can have fun on the weekend. The day of departure will arrive soon. Jumi even borrows her best friend's car, because it has been a long time since the whole family has gone out together. Everyone is excited on the way. It doesn't take long for them to arrive at the resort. Looking at such a luxurious resort, the aunt is extremely excited. Then the whole family starts enjoying the services at the resort. Due to limited strength, the two grandmothers go into the sauna to relax. Jumai and her older sister take the little boy to play in the water. The whole family had a very fun time. However, time also passed very quickly, and then the family finished their vacation. Looking at the photos that were taken, Jumi is also very grateful to Wu Jin. So when she runs in the morning the next day, she plans to thank Wu Jin. But after running for a long time, she doesn't see his figure, which makes her a little disappointed. She finds a place to sit down and rest. Then Wu Jin appears and sees Jumi sitting on top of the hill, spacing out. Wu Jin proactively greets Jumai. This is the first time Wu Jin has proactively talked to her, which makes Jumai feel a little proud. Then Jumai says that her whole family had a fun time at the resort, and she will find an opportunity to express her gratitude to the chairman. Wu Jin, again, coldly says that there's no need to do that, because this will make them have to pretend to be a couple forever. Jumi is very disappointed after hearing this. Unexpectedly, Wu Jin proactively asks her why she doesn't have a plan for him to smile a third time. Seeing that Wu Jin is looking forward to her smiling plan makes Jumai simply happier. Although Wu Jin has made it clear that there's no need to return a gift to his dad, Jumai still insists on buying a gift for the chairman. Facing this gift from Jumi, Wu Jin is confused. After thinking for a very long time, he still gives Jumai's gift to his stepmother so that she can give it to his dad. A gift from his soon-to-be daughter-in-law makes the whole family curious. When they see a pair of sports gloves, they don't expect that Jumai would be so thoughtful, which makes the good impression of the whole family about Jumai soar. Soon after, Wu Jin is promoted to the head of the main headquarters. While he is inspecting the resort, he sees a man and a woman joking around not far away. After learning that a travel magazine sent them to take promotional photos, Wu Jin doesn't care. Unexpectedly, the next second that girl is Jumai. Although on the outside Wu Jin looks calm, actually he is very jealous in his heart. The fake girlfriend Jumi is also very surprised when seeing him. After being introduced by the escort, she learns that Wu Jin has been promoted to the head of the main headquarters of the resort, and that the person she wants to interview today is Wu Jin. Then Wu Jin gives a speech in front of the camera with his calmness and confidence, which makes Jumai extremely excited. The whole interview process goes very smoothly. After the interview, Jumi is preparing to go back to the photographer, but she is seen by Wu Jin. Unable to bear the closeness between the two, Wu Jin stops Jumai and offers to bring Jumai back. Seeing that Wu Jin is so insistent, Jumai has no other choice but to get in his car. On the way back, Wu Jin asks Jumai about her relationship with the photographer. Jumai answers that they are just in a colleague relationship. After hearing this, Wu Jin immediately complains. If it's just a normal colleague relationship, why are they holding hands so intimately? Jumai says that this is normal, but Wu Jin says that this makes people look uncomfortable. As soon as she gets back, she calls her best friend to complain about it. When learning that Wu Jin was promoted to be the director of the resort, her friend thinks that this is the personality of those who are in high positions. Jumai defends Wu Jin, saying that he isn't that kind of person. Her best friend complains that Jumi is just a fake girlfriend, and not a real one. So why is she so upset? Their conversation happens to be overheard by Wu Jin's older sister. This is her brother, and she immediately runs home to tell her dad about this. The chairman is very angry after learning this, but he just calls to say that he wants to thank Jumai directly for giving him the sports gloves. He asks Jumai to come to his house to talk, and then he notifies Wu Jin to come home. Facing the sudden notification from the chairman, both of them feel strange. Wu Jin calls his stepmother to ask what happened. The stepmother, who loves her son very much, has no other choice but to say that the chairman has found out that the two are in a fake relationship. On the way back, Wu Jin feels very sorry for Jumi. From the start, Jumai shouldn't have been pulled into this thing. He also remembers every intimate moment with her. His heart is extremely happy, so he secretly makes a decision. At the same time, Jumi is being interrogated by the chairman. Seeing that the situation has been exposed, Jumai has no other choice but to solve the problem herself. Every detail is explained honestly, and she proactively admits her mistakes to him. At this moment, Wu Jin also comes back and honestly admits his mistakes. After understanding the entire story, Chairman Zhang asks Jumai to leave first. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Wu Jin suddenly says that he has changed his mind. Although he still doesn't know what Jumi is thinking, if Jumi is willing, he wants to marry Jumi as his wife. When his family hears this news, they are all so shocked that their pants are stained yellow. Jumi on the side also has a surprised expression. She doesn't have any intention to get married. Although there is a big difference between the two, Chairman Zhang has a very good impression of Ju Mi. He requests Ju Mi to come back and think carefully about it. Ju Mi feels angry and quickly drinks a glass of water to clear her shock. She complains to Wu Jin that she also has dreams about getting married. He doesn't need to make a scene like a celebrity, but at least there has to be a restaurant or somewhere a little luxurious to propose to her. Then Ju Mi again says that the person she wants to marry is a man who can't live without her and not a cold-faced uncle like an iceberg. After saying that, she angrily stands up and leaves. Facing the rejection from Ju Mi makes Wu Jin unable to understand. He thinks that Ju Mi likes him, and that is enough to have 3 kids. But why doesn't Ju Mi want to? After hearing this, the chairman tells him that getting married isn't that simple. He hopes that Wu Jin will clearly understand Ju Mi and then make a decision based on her family circumstances. But at the same time, he also encourages Wu Jin, saying that they like Ju Mi a lot. No matter what Ju Mi's family circumstances are, they can accept it. Ju Mi is feeling down. She likes Wu Jin a lot. She's just worried whether she can melt Wu Jin's cold heart or not. So she asks her older sister to come outside to talk. After drinking a few glasses of cold beer, she tells her older sister that Wu Jin wants to marry her. Ju Young thinks that it's love at first sight, although Wu Jin is very cold. This only shows that Wu Jin is making a change for Ju Mi, hoping that Ju Mi won't miss such a good opportunity. Ju Mi goes home and tells her grandmother that she wants to get married. Her grandmother and aunt are both shocked. They never thought about that. Previously, she didn't even have a boyfriend, so they quickly asked her if she had fallen in love with some muscular guy. Ju Mi says that that person is Wu Jin, who had come to their house before. The aunt, hearing that Ju Mi is about to marry a Shibal heir, is happy beyond words. Then Wu Jin makes an appointment with Ju Mi to go outside to talk. Wu Jin says that he understands Ju Mi's concerns. Although he can't immediately become the person that Ju Mi wants, he is willing to change little by little for her. Ju Mi says that if that's the case, then he should sing a song for her first. To have Ju Mi marry him, Wu Jin has no choice but to accept. He immediately goes to a karaoke room and sings folk songs for Ju Mi to listen to. She bursts out laughing after listening to it. After the song ends, Wu Jin is also covered in sweat, but he still promises Ju Mi that as long as she makes any request, he will find a way to satisfy it. Seeing the man in front of her change continuously for her, Ju Mi also agrees to Wu Jin's proposal. Soon after, Wu Jin follows Ju Mi back to her house to propose. Facing the two people's decision to get married, although her grandmother was prepared, she is still a little worried because Ju Mi didn't have parents since she was young, and their family circumstances also aren't wealthy. Wu Jin expresses that his parents know about this situation, and they also don't mind. They love Ju Mi's cheerful and warm personality. Seeing that Wu Jin is very sincere, the grandmother agrees to their marriage. However, because the family circumstances of the two people are very different, she still hopes that the two will get to know each other for a while before making a decision. Then Wu Jin relays to his father, Zhang Biang, the grandmother's idea. He thinks it's logical, but they all really approve of Ju Mi, so there's no need to investigate Ju Mi anymore. He tells Wu Jin that as long as Ju Mi agrees, then he will arrange a meeting for their relatives right away. Soon after, to clearly understand the family circumstances of both sides beforehand, the chairman again invites Ju Mi to his house. Ju Mi tells Wu Jin's parents that her dad was once a literature professor, teaching at Seoul University. He died from an illness 5 years ago. Her mom divorced her dad when she was young. From then on, she also lost contact with her. Hearing Ju Mi's words shocks the stepmother, because her ex-husband was also a university professor. She divorced her ex-husband when her daughter was only 3 years old, but the name of that daughter is different from Ju Mi's name. She thinks there can't be such a coincidence, but she is still a little curious, so she asks for Ju Mi's dad's name. After hearing it, Mrs. Yu is instantly stunned. The shattered plate also cuts her hand. To hide the uneasiness in her heart, Mrs. Yu hurriedly hides in the room. Unexpectedly, the daughter she had abandoned back then is now preparing to marry her husband's son, preparing to become her daughter-in-law. At this moment, Mrs. Yu is so heartbroken that she can't breathe. Before she can calm down, the chairman has arranged for Ju Mi to meet Wu Jin's uncle and aunt. The uncle knows that it's not easy for Wu Jin to change his mind and get married, so he suggests that Ju Mi have kids as soon as possible, so that the older chairman can find some time to take care of his grandson. Ju Mi is a little embarrassed about this, but the chairman is very happy and plans to arrange a meeting between the two families for the weekend. At the same time, seeing that Ju Mi is about to marry into a wealthy family, the elders are too happy. Everyone is looking forward to meeting the in-laws from both sides. As for Mrs. Yu, she started having trouble sleeping, so she takes a lot of anti-anxiety medication. But it still doesn't solve the problem. She summons all her courage to call Ju-mi's grandmother's phone number. When hearing the voice of her former daughter-in-law calling, she plans to hang up the phone, because her resentment toward her former daughter-in-law has never subsided. But Mrs. Yu begs her mother-in-law not to hang up the phone, and quickly explains that she is Wu Jin's stepmother, who is about to marry Ju-mi. On this side, Wu Jin has specially prepared a surprise, and that is to have the radio broadcast the story of how they met and got to know each other. Listening to the host on the radio, Ju-mi is very surprised. In the end, the host reveals Wu Jin's proposal to Ju-mi. At this moment, Ju-mi realizes that this is a surprise that Wu Jin has set up for her. How could she not be moved by such a romantic proposal? So Ju-mi immediately jumps over and kisses Wu Jin. He is a person who has been single for 35 years and has finally felt the sweetness of love. Then the two people go to the restaurant to confirm the private room for the family meeting. Seeing that the room chosen by Wu Jin is very luxurious and magnificent makes Ju-mi very satisfied. But what she didn't expect is that the prices on the menu are too expensive. Up to 350,001 for each dish. But it seems like she has forgotten that her soon-to-be husband is a rich young man. Wu Jin doesn't care about the price at all. The restaurant plans to have them try the dishes first. But Ju-mi instead leads Wu Jin to the park to eat kimbap to cultivate feelings. As the wedding gets closer and closer, the relationship between the two people also becomes more solid. However, what they don't know is that Wu Jin's stepmother has discovered that Ju-mi is her biological daughter. Realizing that if things continue like this, then her relationship with Ju-mi will be exposed. Mrs. Yu has no other choice but to invite Ju-mi's grandmother out to talk. The grandmother thinks that her former daughter-in-law will discuss how to end this relationship. Unexpectedly, Mrs. Yu instead asks her grandmother to agree to this marriage. She only hopes that her former mother-in-law will make this marriage become a reality. But Ju-mi's grandmother still can't forget 20 years ago, when this woman betrayed her son and then abandoned her two granddaughters and left. The grandmother tells Mrs. Yu that no matter how rich her family is, no matter how wonderful her husband's son is, she will not agree to this marriage. After saying that, the grandmother angrily leaves. But now she has to face an even bigger problem. Ju-mi is preparing for the wedding every day, and her face is full of a happy smile. She doesn't know what to do to ask Ju-mi to stop. After thinking for many nights, she says that their family circumstances are very different, and wants Ju-mi to give up her intention to get married quickly. Ju-mi bursts into tears immediately after hearing this. She constantly explains that Wu Jin's family doesn't care about their family's circumstances, but the grandmother refuses to listen. Ju-mi is forced to give up the marriage. After Wu Jin learns about this, he hurriedly comes to comfort Ju-mi. Seeing Ju-mi crying miserably, Wu Jin is heartbroken. He immediately brings her back home to see her grandmother, saying that Ju-mi's family doesn't need to prepare a dowry, and they don't need to prepare anything. They just need Ju-mi to get married. The aunt on the side also advises Ju-mi's grandmother not to worry, but the grandmother just doesn't like that Wu Jin's family is too rich, and insists on requesting the two to get to know each other better before making a decision. Seeing that the grandmother's attitude is so resolute, Wu Jin has no other choice but to report this matter to his father, the chairman. Chairman Zhang is very surprised after hearing that the woman's family is refusing the marriage just because the man's family is too rich. He is over 70 years old this year, but he has never heard of this before. They have no other choice but to postpone the first meeting between the two families, because the future bride, Ju-mi, is her biological daughter, in order to have Ju-mi's grandmother agree to the marriage. Mrs. Yu again calls to request a meeting. Mrs. Yu begs and says that she has been with Wu Jin for 20 years and has never seen Wu Jin so happy. Since Wu Jin met Ju-mi, the two of them have been extremely happy, and there is no reason to cut off their children's happiness. As long as the two of them carry the secret in their hearts until they die, then no one will know that Ju-mi is the daughter of Mrs. However, despite the deep love between the two grandchildren, the grandmother still firmly opposes it because she is worried that she won't be able to find a husband. Ju-mi is becoming more and more depressed. Wu Jin comforts her, but it's not much use. Then Ju-mi follows him back to his house to prepare to give the chairman feedback about her grandmother's opinion. Right at that moment, the grandmother calls, learning that she has come to Wu Jin's house, and is angry. After returning, the grandmother immediately brings Ju-mi, and even declares that she will cut off relations with her. This makes Ju-mi feel extremely wronged, and tears can't stop rolling down her face. Ju-mi's sadness also makes her grandmother very uncomfortable. so she goes to meet Chairman Zhang directly, planning to end this matter. But the chairman has decided to have Zhu Mai be his daughter-in-law, so whatever problem she brings up, Chairman Zhang has a solution. Hearing her say that she doesn't want to see her granddaughter marry into a wealthy family and be treated unfairly, the chairman even says that they can live separately after getting married, and Zhu Mai doesn't need to see the faces of his family at all. Hearing the chairman say this, the grandmother is speechless for a while. Although she can't find any more reasons to oppose it, she still refuses to compromise. Seeing that Zhu Mai's grandmother is so resolute, the chairman is also extremely disappointed. After leaving his office, she goes home feeling depressed, discovering that Zhu Mi is hiding in her room, not eating anything, and only sitting and crying, washing her face with tears all day long. Seeing that Zhu Mi is about to become useless, the grandmother really can't bear it anymore. Then she goes to meet Mrs. Yu, saying that in this life, she doesn't want to meet this daughter-in-law again, but for the sake of her granddaughter's happiness, she still decides to accept the marriage of Zhu Mi and Wu Jin. But the condition is that Mrs. Yu has to keep it a secret that Zhu Mi is her biological daughter. Mrs. Yu is very grateful after hearing this, and swears that she will take this secret to the grave. Soon after, the grandmother calls Zhu Mai and Wu Jin. At this moment, the young couple also has a lot of obstacles in their hearts, but when hearing her announce that she has agreed to their marriage, the two are so happy that they almost take flight. The granddaughter finally shows a smile that she hasn't shown for a long time. When bringing Wu Jin outside, Zhu Mai happily jumps on him. Seeing his little girlfriend so happy makes Wu Jin also feel happier in his heart. Then Wu Jin tells his family about this good news. Chairman Zhang is very happy, and after hearing this, immediately tells Wu Jin to quickly rearrange the meeting. But Wu Jin's younger sister looks unhappy. If later she argues with her sister-in-law, then who will Wu Jin take whose side? As soon as those words come out, the chairman and his wife scold her, requesting her to treat Zhu Mai better in the future. To celebrate receiving the approval of the elders, Wu Jin specially brings Zhu Mai to the resort to have a date. Sitting in the cable car and admiring the beautiful scenery on both sides, Zhu Mi's mood also becomes excited. Right at that moment, the cable car suddenly stops. Zhu Mai thinks that there is a problem, so she is very scared. Unexpectedly, at this moment Wu Jin takes out a box. Inside is a diamond ring, and he proposes to Zhu Mai right here. She can't resist this feeling of happiness, so she reaches out her hand to agree. Under the encouragement of love, Wu Jin slowly moves closer, preparing to kiss Zhu Mi, who is closing her eyes. Right at that moment, the cable car starts again and shakes. It turns out that the operating employee couldn't stand this scene, so he made the cable car run again so that he wouldn't have to eat dog food. Wu Jin looks like he wants to fire him right away. Very quickly after, the meeting between the two families takes place. Mrs. Yu has finally met her older daughter, Zhu Young. Witnessing her daughter having grown up, the missus has many mixed feelings in her heart, but she can only be silent. After the family meeting, Wu Jin is preparing to discuss the organizing of the engagement ceremony. According to customs, the engagement ceremony has to be performed by the woman's family, but the chairman doesn't want to create more of a burden for Zhu Mi's family, so he decides to skip this step and start planning for the wedding right away. Wu Jin also agrees with this very much. Since meeting his two daughters, Mrs. Yu has started missing them. She uses the excuse of discussing the wedding to invite the two sisters out to eat. Seeing that her two daughters have grown up peacefully and are not only beautiful but also very smart, Mrs. Yu is both happy and regretful. Then she learns that Zhu Young has gotten divorced. To make up for her mistakes to the sisters, Zhu Mai takes the two sisters to shop for a lot of clothes. After returning home, they happily show off their clothes to their aunt. But when the grandmother learns about it, she becomes angry and immediately calls Mrs. Yu to warn her not to dream about being the mom of her two granddaughters. Then Wu Jin is going to meet Zhu Mi's circle of friends. Because he and Zhu Mai are 9 years apart, to make himself look younger, he asks his younger sister to be his clothing advisor. She arranges for him a pair of skinny jeans and a youthful t-shirt. Wu Jin is very suspicious of his younger sister's vision, but she says that this is the most popular way that young people are dressing nowadays. After seeing the outfit of her soon-to-be husband, Zhu Mai holds her stomach and laughs loudly, saying that no one their age dresses like this. After hearing this, Wu Jin realizes that his younger sister and Zhu Mi are actually only a few years apart, but now it's too late to change. Wu Jin has no choice but to grit his teeth and go meet Zhu Mi's best friends. Seeing Wu Jin dressed like this, his good friends all ask if Zhu Mai brought someone else here. Wu Jin gives a serious explanation that it's the same person, which makes them all laugh. To tease Wu Jin, they ask him to pour the red wine again, and then pick up food for the girls. Wu Jin doesn't dare to refuse, Ju Mai feels very embarrassed when seeing this and will return the favor to them in the future. Then Woo Jin goes to the bathroom. He just wants to end the party and go home early, but unexpectedly he meets his uncle there. Seeing Woo Jin, who is usually well dressed up like a young kid now, he can't help but laugh. He immediately brings Woo Jin to see his aunt. After saying hello, Woo Jin wants to leave. But how could his uncle let go of such a good opportunity? He says he should say hi and take a photo as a souvenir. Then Woo Jin has just returned to his seat when he is asked by his friends about his first kiss. This makes the two of them embarrassed. After the party, the two want to give each other their first kiss, but because they don't have any experience, after fumbling around for a long time, he still can't touch his lips to Ju Mi. Woo Jin finally finds a way to kiss her, but right at this moment his phone suddenly rings. The caller is Woo Jin's cousin because he just saw the photo of Woo Jin dressed up like a young boy. Then Mrs. Yu brings Ju Mi to visit Woo Jin's late mom, who passed away from illness when Woo Jin was only 15 years old. Ju Mai, who has lost contact with her mom since she was young, suddenly feels like she is in the same boat as Woo Jin. Mrs. Yu then gets sick and faints. After receiving the report, Ju Mi hurriedly goes to visit. Because Woo Jin is busy with work, she is doing this for him. Woo Jin is very touched, and the relationship between the two people becomes better and better. But when Woo Jin learns that Ju Mai has been brought to Jeju Island on a 2-day, one-night business trip, and he also learns that the colleague going with Ju Mi is a man, it makes Woo Jin lose his composure. Woo Jin firmly opposes it, and even requests Ju Mai to resign and come home immediately, confirming that after they get married, Ju Mi will never be allowed to go out to work. Woo Jin's patriarchal actions make Ju Mi very disgusted. She firmly confirms that she will never quit her job. The two start arguing day and night, arguing from the cafe to the riverbank, but neither is persuaded. In her anger, Ju Mi scolds Woo Jin for being petty. Woo Jin becomes even more irritable after hearing this, directly declaring that if Ju Mai doesn't cancel the business trip, he wants to reconsider their marriage. Ju Mi is also very angry, thinking that the marriage between the two of them has to be considered carefully. And finally, the two argue unpleasantly and break up. Ju Mi, feeling depressed, tells her older sister about the incident. Her older sister, after hearing this, comforts Ju Mi, saying that men are also very jealous, and tells her not to care too much. At the same time, when Woo Jin returns home, the more he thinks about it, the more he feels that it's not right. He runs to find Jo Mi's grandmother to demand justice. Ju Mi also refuses to lose, and the two immediately argue in front of their family members. Seeing the two like this makes the grandmother's intentions revive. They have too many conflicts, so after getting married, they will argue every day. She requests them to reconsider this marriage. The two of them are extremely scared after hearing this. Woo Jin quickly explains that what he just said were all angry words, and then he pulls Ju Mai away to run. It's difficult for them to get her approval, so they can't ruin it. But Woo Jin still firmly confirms that he will never agree to have Ju Mai go on a business trip with a male colleague. Ju Mi also says that she will never compromise. The next day, Woo Jin abandons all of his work and prepares to accompany Ju Mai on the business trip. When he sees her at the airport, there isn't a male colleague with her. Going with her is a female friend. Woo Jin is very happy, and to show the generosity of a man, he immediately calls Ju Mai and says that right now he completely agrees to her business trip and wishes Ju Mai all the best. Ju Mai thought that Woo Jin had come to his senses, so she felt touched. The two people also reconcile. Soon after, Mrs. Yu wants to thank Ju Mai for taking care of her during the time that she was sick. She wants to invite her to her house for dinner. Woo Jin's younger sister, So-ah, after hearing this, is again unhappy and tries her best to oppose it. The chairman and his wife are not satisfied with her, saying that from now on they and Ju Mai will become a family, and they request So-ah to be polite to Ju Mi. The next day, Mrs. prepares a large table of food to entertain Ju Mi. At this moment, So-ah discovers the engagement ring on Ju Mi's hand. She curiously asks about the process of the two people proposing. After learning that Woo Jin proposed on a cable car, the whole family thinks that it's unbelievable. It turns out that Woo Jin, who is always cold, can become romantic. After dinner, Woo Jin brings Ju Mai to visit his room. He turns on music for the two to relax. At this moment, the colleague who went on a business trip with Ju Mai sends her a few photos. Seeing that Ju Mi is so happy, Woo Jin, curious, also wants to take a look, but Ju Mai refuses to let him see them to make him jealous, so the two start fighting over it. In the struggle, they jump on the bed and accidentally create a warm pose. Unexpectedly, right at this moment, So suddenly pushes open the door and steps in. Witnessing such a shocking scene, his younger sister immediately runs off and complains to her parents. She yells that her older brother is doing something messy in the room. Seeing this, Wu Jin quickly runs to grab So-ah's big mouth. Chairman Zhang requests Wu Jin to return to the room with Ju Mi, but So-ah still doesn't stop and even blames her older brother for being too crude. So she is again scolded by her parents in a fit. They tell her that her older brother is approaching his reproductive season, so this is normal. At this moment, Ju Mi is anxiously feeling embarrassed in the room. Just now, the two of them haven't done anything yet, but have already been discovered. Right when she is feeling so wrong, Wu Jin suddenly pulls her back and passionately hugs and kisses her. Now the two don't have to worry about being discovered anymore. Soon after, Mrs. Yu invites Ju Mi to come to her house to play. Although she is her biological daughter, they can't recognize each other. She asks Ju Mi what she most wants to do with her mom. Ju Mi says that she often fantasizes about sitting on the bed, eating snacks, and chatting with her mom. Mrs. Yu immediately fulfills Ju Mi's wish. The two chat for a long time and forget that it's getting close to the time that the chairman will be back. He doesn't see anyone come out to greet him, so he angrily pushes his wheelchair into the room and throws off his coat, starting to scold them. Seeing this, Ju Mi has no other choice but to leave first. When walking out the door, she happens to meet Wu Jin at this moment. She has told Wu Jin about it. Wu Jin has long been used to this, because the chairman often acts like an emperor at home. No one can disobey his wishes. This is why he has a bad relationship with his dad. After hearing this, Ju Mi finally understands why Wu Jin's personality is so cold. Not long after, Wu Jin and Ju Mi finally chose a wedding date. They start discussing where to hold it. Ju Mi, who likes to have fun, definitely doesn't want to miss such a good opportunity. So she suggests going straight to Hawaii for a week and then coming back. But Wu Jin, who is busy with his career, feels that a week is too long. He only wants to spend 2 or 3 days on Jeju Island and then come back home. The aunt, hearing this, comes up with a solution that makes both of them very happy and giggle. Then Wu Jin tells his parents about this. Hearing that the wedding date has finally been set, the chairman and his wife are very satisfied. Then Ju Mi brings Wu Jin to visit her dad's grave. She tells her dad about their marriage, saying that Wu Jin is very good to her. It's just that he's a little jealous. Wu Jin, hearing this, immediately denies it and promises to make Ju Mi happy in the future. After the wedding date has been confirmed, to not make Ju Mi's grandmother worry, the chairman tells his wife to be completely responsible for preparing the wedding. Of course, Mrs. Yu is very happy and busily preparing for the wedding every day. Seeing his mom taking care of Ju Mi like that, So-ah starts complaining about Ju Mi. She asks, "Is that your mom's biological daughter? Why are you caring about her so much?" Which makes Mrs. Yu startled. After everything has been prepared, Wu Jin and Ju Mi start choosing a wedding dress. The moment Ju Mi appears in the dress, unexpectedly Wu Jin doesn't like it because it reveals too much in the front. Ju Mi has no choice but to change into another outfit, but Wu Jin also doesn't like that. It reveals too much from the back. Then Ju Mi changes into a mini wedding dress. This outfit is very playful and cute. Ju Mi likes it a lot. However, how can Wu Jin accept having her dress like this? So he stands up and personally chooses an outfit for her. Although Ju Mi isn't satisfied, she still obediently changes her clothes. When seeing Ju Mi wrapped up tightly in this outfit, Wu Jin finally shows a satisfied smile, signaling his agreement. But Ju Mi is no longer happy, so the two have another disagreement. To solve this problem, Ju Mi then gives Wu Jin the decision-making power for the wedding dress, letting him choose the location to hold the ceremony and go on the honeymoon. But in her heart, she is very sad. Wu Jin then goes to a karaoke room to bring a big surprise to Ju Mi. He has found a professional teacher to teach him to sing at the wedding. To determine whether he is a person who knows how to sing, the teacher immediately requests him to sing cappella. This opening sounds even worse than a dog being burned with boiling water. The teacher is so shocked that his hairline almost touches his heels. To fix his pronunciation, he immediately picks up a bucket and puts it over his head, letting Wu Jin sing by himself, listen by himself, and then improve himself. At the same time, because of the decision-making power for the wedding dress and the location to hold the ceremony, Ju Mi is complaining to her best friend. Her friend thinks that being discouraged like this isn't the solution, requesting her to try to satisfy Wu Jin and try to take all the decision-making power. Ju Mi seems to come to her senses after listening to this, so she goes home and makes a love lunchbox to win him over. At the same time, after learning that he is a musical moron, Wu Jin practices singing even during work hours. He puts a bucket on his head, singing and revising his pronunciation. As soon as he is immersed in that, Ju Mai brings the lunchbox and steps in. She sees that he is too funny and starts laughing out loud, knocking on the iron bucket. After learning that his soon-to-be wife has come, Woo Jin is so embarrassed that he wants to crawl into the ground and be done with it. He quickly explains that doing this can quickly improve his IQ. Ju Mai, of course, isn't going to believe his nonsense. Then the two people find a place to enjoy the lunch that she made. After waiting for Woo Jin to eat properly, Ju Mai immediately seizes the opportunity to propose the right to decide on the wedding dress and their trip. Although Woo Jin is very grateful for Ju Mai's lunchbox, he still refuses to give in. Ju Mai has no choice but to give up choosing the wedding dress. Then they set the location of the wedding to be in Bali. But what she didn't expect is that when she just gets back home, her aunt tells her that the wedding dress has been delivered. She should open it up and take a look. It's the mini wedding dress that she liked very much. Ju Mai is so happy that she almost faints. It turns out that the reason Woo Jin initially opposed it was just to create a big surprise for her. Then Ju Mai goes to the supermarket with her aunt and grandmother to shop. Unexpectedly, she accidentally sees an acquaintance that she hasn't seen in many years. And that is Ju Mai's mom, who has been missing for many years. She rushes over to block the wealthy wife and asks Mrs. Yu if she is Ju Mai's mom. Mrs. Yu is terrified when seeing this and quickly says that Aunt Oh Bak has mistaken the person. But Aunt Oh Bak firmly states that she isn't mistaken, trying to pull Mrs. Yu back to ask clearly. At this moment, the aunt hears Ju Mai call her mother-in-law. Her head almost explodes. Right at this moment, Ju Mai's grandmother appears and quickly pulls Aunt Oh Bak away. After returning home, the grandmother has no other choice but to tell the truth. In this world, there is a funny thing where a biological mom turns into a mother-in-law. Aunt Oh Bak is so shocked that her head almost explodes, but the grandmother instructs her not to tell anyone about that matter. If this matter leaks out, they will all die together. At that moment, Aunt Oh Bak realizes the severity of the problem. The aunt also understands why her mom had suddenly strongly opposed Ju Mai's marriage. On the other side, Ju Mai sees that Mrs. Yu's complexion is very pale, so she brings her back home. Seeing that his wife's health isn't good, the chairman says that she has to rest. Although he knows that the chairman cares a lot about his wife, Ju Mai is still scared of his authoritarianism. After returning to her room, because she is scared about the things that are being exposed, she feels very worried. At this moment, her grandmother calls, telling her that Aunt Oh Bak is silent so that she won't worry. After the meal, Ju Mai and Woo Jin take a walk in the park. At this moment, Ju Mai signals for Woo Jin to bend down. Ju Mai immediately kisses him on the cheek, saying that this is to thank Woo Jin for preparing such a beautiful wedding dress. After learning that Woo Jin isn't too conservative, Ju Mai says that in the future, she will never be stubborn again. As the wedding day gets closer and closer, Ju Mai and Woo Jin have also decided on the location to hold it. Woo Jin is also taking more time to practice singing the song well. At the same time, Mrs. Yu requests everyone to decorate the honeymoon room beautifully, which Ju Mai likes a lot. But this makes Woo Jin's younger sister very jealous. A little later, his cousin, Woo Bin, invites Woo Jin to get a drink. Seeing that his cousin is unhappy, Woo Jin asks him what's wrong. It turns out that Woo Bin is in love with a divorced woman. Furthermore, this woman is not only 3 years older than him, but she also has a 5-year-old child. On the emotional side, Woo Jin feels that as long as Woo Bin is happy, it doesn't matter who he loves. But on the rational side, Woo Jin still doesn't agree with Woo Bin's love, because this kind of love will only make Woo Bin work harder. He can only advise Woo Bin to quickly give up. However, Woo Bin has already fallen too deeply, so he can't free himself. He won't listen to anyone trying to persuade him. Finally, the day that Ju Mai and Woo Jin take their wedding photos arrives. Both are very excited, because his cousin, Woo Bin, has never met Ju Mai. Woo Jin invites him to meet here. At the same time, Ju Mai has also made an appointment to meet her older sister. To impress his soon-to-be sister-in-law, he even goes outside to buy a lot of delicious food. But the moment he sees Ju Mai, he is stunned. The divorced woman that he loves is Ju Mai's older sister. He is so scared that he hurriedly turns away. Thinking about his difficult love, Woo Bin becomes even more worried. Ju Mai, having just arrived, knows that Woo Bin is Woo Jin's cousin. She also has a hard time accepting this. For the happiness of Ju Mai and Woo Jin, they have to keep their relationship a secret, planning to wait until Ju Mai and Woo Jin go smoothly before they reveal it. After the wedding photo shoot, Ju Mai and Woo Jin go to the shopping mall to buy clothes. Ju Mai wants to buy matching outfits, but Woo Jin thinks that wearing matching outfits is too childish, so he doesn't want to buy them. Because of this reason, the two again argue. This time, Ju Mai doesn't compromise. She doesn't care whether Wu Jin wants to wear it or not, she will still buy it. Not just one set, but two, because Jumai doesn't only want to wear matching outfits with Wu Jin. She also wants her in-laws to wear them together. Jumi's bold idea shocks Wu Jin. He feels that Jumai will be scolded by his irritable Chibal father, but he didn't expect that after bringing it home, the chairman wouldn't be angry. Instead, he praised Jumi's idea as very novel. Soon after, the grandmother makes an appointment for Mrs. Yu to come out to talk. Although the chairman has declared that Jumi's family doesn't need to prepare a dowry or betrothal gifts, she still gives the gift that she has prepared for a long time to the man's family. She requests Mrs. Yu not to forget that she is only a mother-in-law, and not to be too good to Jumai, in order to avoid others knowing that she is her biological mom. After receiving the gift from Jumi's grandmother, the chairman is unhappy because he doesn't want to create a burden for his daughter-in-law's family. But because of politeness, he can only accept. Then, according to custom, Wu Jin also comes to Jumi's house with engagement gifts. After seeing Wu Jin's outfit, everyone laughs, because this doesn't need to be so elaborate. To have a good start, the aunt quickly brings a small pot, puts it under Wu Jin's feet, and signals for him to crush it. A cracking sound rings out. The procedure is now complete. Wu Jin brings the gifts into the house. Looking at the jade jewelry and treasures that the man's family has prepared makes the grandmother very satisfied. Jumi's older sister on the side is also happy for her younger sister. Not long after, the wedding of Jumai and Wu Jin was held as planned. As soon as her older sister arrives at the hall, she meets Wu Bin's older sister. Since she learned that her younger brother was in love with a single mom, she has been feeling upset in her heart. Now learning that she is Jumi's older sister makes her even more irritable. Seeing that she is preparing to attack Ju Young, Wu Bin appears just in time, advising her to endure it for Wu Jin, to avoid having the identity of Jumi's biological mom exposed. The grandmother especially doesn't invite relatives to attend the wedding, but because before the aunt had accidentally revealed the marriage of Jumai to a relative, a grand aunt from their hometown comes into play that day. The grand aunt recognizes Mrs. Yu with just one glance. Aunt Oh Bak is very scared when she sees this, and quickly pulls her relative to the side. She lies and says that Jumin's mom and Mrs. Yu only look similar and aren't the same person, telling her not to say nonsense that will ruin the wedding of the young couple. Then Jumi and Wu Jin successfully hold their wedding ceremony. Witnessing her little granddaughter finally getting married, the grandmother cries from happiness. The missus, looking at Jumai as both a daughter-in-law and a daughter, is also very happy in her heart. Under the blessings of relatives and friends, Jumai and Wu Jin finally successfully hold their wedding. After the wedding, the two get in a luxurious car and go to the airport, preparing for their happy honeymoon. On the way, the two drink wine and eat cake, enjoying some top-class cuisine. This sweet atmosphere is simply too happy. But as soon as they arrive at the airport, Jumi has a stomachache. Then she hurriedly runs to the bathroom to take care of it. Although her legs are numb from squatting, her stomach still doesn't improve. Finally, they have to go by ambulance to the hospital. After some time being treated, Jumi's condition has finally alleviated, unexpectedly. At this moment, it's Wu Jin's turn to have his stomach growl. He also hurriedly runs to the bathroom to breathe some air. But after taking only a few steps outside, the pain surges again. Wu Jin has no other choice but to hold on and quickly turn back. Ah, that's it. The two planned to enjoy their honeymoon in Bali, but because they ate something bad, both were lying in beds in the emergency room. To make things even worse, because there aren't any VIP rooms, the two can only find a way to get medical treatment separately. They are extremely disappointed. But how could a small illness stop the passion of the two people? To be together on their wedding night, the two immediately put on their matching outfits and go to the activity room of the hospital. Then they lie and say that they have come to a hotel on the island, advising their family not to worry too much. After the phone call, Wu Jin can't help but sigh. If it weren't for this uncomfortable stomach, then he would be sleeping together with Jumai right now. When learning that Wu Jin had practiced singing for a few months, Jumi was very surprised. Although they aren't in a hotel now, she still really wants to hear Wu Jin sing. Facing Jumi's strong request, Wu Jin starts singing a cappella. Even though Wu Jin's singing is still as bad as ever, Jumi is very mesmerized and touched after listening. Jumai comes up with another idea, and that is to have Wu Jin carry her from the hallway back to the hospital bed. She thinks that this is a procedure for the wedding night, but Wu Jin is afraid that he can't do it. Facing Jumai's request, Wu Jin still performs it. The two lie down together right as the curtain is pulled up. The next day, when the nurse comes to check the hospital room, she loses her composure when she sees the two of them lying next to each other. She immediately scolds the two, so the two have to explain that they are a newly married couple. Not listening, the nurse chases Woo Jin outside. After getting discharged, they can't go to Bali Island anymore. To not miss their memorable honeymoon, Woo Jin brings Ju Mai to his company's resort. The two are received by the employees attentively. But who knew that as soon as Woo Jin arrives, the resort has something urgent that needs to be taken care of? He immediately throws himself into work, leaving Ju Mai by herself. Although Ju Mi is very angry when she sees Woo Jin decorate the room with love balloons, her mood immediately improves. To thank Woo Jin for his efforts, Ju Mai quickly runs to the supermarket to buy ingredients to cook. Returning to the hotel, Ju Mai starts going into the kitchen, preparing to show off her skills for Woo Jin to see. Although she cuts her hand, it can't stop the passion she has for her husband. Ju Mi enthusiastically calls Woo Jin to come back to eat dinner, but he is very busy and doesn't have time for her at all. Seeing that all of her sincerity has been poured into a hole that has no bottom, Ju Mi is so angry that she wants to explode. Ju Mi takes out 2 bottles of alcohol and drinks them all in her anger. Late into the night, Woo Jin finally returns after finishing work, but he searches and can't find Ju Mai anywhere. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Ju Mi jumps out from behind the curtain, which startles him. Ju Mai, drunk, stands on the chair and starts scolding her unfeeling husband. Woo Jin can only continue to apologize. Ju Mai picks up a pillow and hits Woo Jin hard. She finally gets drunk and is carried back to the room to sleep by Woo Jin. But after putting Ju Mi on the bed, Woo Jin is like a 9-year-old child. He doesn't know how to help Ju Mai change into her pajamas. Although in name, the two are a legally married couple, they have never touched each other's bodies intimately. He performs this task awkwardly, but finally manages to complete it excellently. The next morning, Ju Mai wakes up and sees that she is lying in Woo Jin's warm embrace. The clothes on her body have also been changed into pajamas. Startled, Ju Mi quickly woke Woo Jin up, asking what had happened. Woo Jin explained that she had been too drunk, so he had changed her clothes. Ju Mai embarrassedly says, "Why did you take off all my clothes without asking for permission? Then haven't you seen everything?" Woo Jin says that at that time he was blind, so he didn't see anything. But how can Ju Mai believe this man's lies? So the two immediately start arguing. Seeing that his little wife is being too stubborn, Woo Jin simply pushes her down on the bed and starts kissing her. 2 minutes later, they have finished their business, so they put on their matching outfits and go outside for a walk. Seeing that the director, who is always aloof, has suddenly put on such cute matching outfits, the employees can't help but giggle. Although Woo Jin is a little embarrassed at first, he soon feels happy. After the honeymoon trip, Woo Jin follows Ju Mai back to her grandmother's house. They change into Korean clothes and then respectfully kneel to thank her grandmother and Aunt To Bak. Seeing that her little granddaughter has married so well, her aunt also starts crying from happiness. On their first day at the man's house, the two also perform a similar ritual according to traditional customs. Ju Mai has to wear a hanbok to greet her in-laws every day for the next week, but the chairman doesn't want Ju Mai to do that. He thinks that Ju Mai only needs to say hello every day, and that's enough. The tolerance and kindness of the chairman make Ju Mai very touched, but she insists on following the traditional customs and says that it's voluntary, so she won't feel like it's difficult. The chairman is very satisfied and immediately says that Ju Mai can do whatever she wants to do. Back in the room, Ju Mai is attracted by the flowers and meat on the table. This is what Mrs. Yu specially prepared for the two. What's written on the card are all the blessings that she has for them. After reading the contents on it, tears fill Ju Mi's eyes. At this moment, she can't bear it anymore. She immediately runs into the kitchen and hugs Mrs. Yu tightly, constantly thanking her for everything that she has done for her. Mrs. Yu looks at her with affectionate eyes, saying that she and the family love her. She hopes that the whole family can live happily in the future. To repay the love her in-laws have for her, Ju Mi wakes up early the next day and makes a lavish breakfast. Because she is too tired and sleepy, she falls asleep right at the dining table. After learning that Ju Mai had woken up at 3 a.m. to prepare breakfast, her grandmother feels touched beyond words and says that in the future, she won't need to wake up so early. There's no need to prepare so many dishes because only the chairman and she will eat them. Woo Jin and Sue only eat bread with eggs. Ju Mi, just hearing these words, plans to go bake bread, but the grandmother says there's no need. Let Woo Jin and his younger sister get used to eating it right today. Seeing that Ju Mai has prepared a table full of kimchi and noodle sauce, the chairman constantly praises Ju Mai as too amazing, but her sister-in-law, Sua, is very sad that there isn't any bread. Ju Mi, seeing this, hurriedly apologizes, saying that she will prepare bread for her tomorrow. But So-ah stubbornly and arrogantly stands up and leaves. Although her family comforts Ju-mi, telling her that she didn't do anything wrong, Ju-mi is still very hurt in her heart. The next day, Ju-mi wakes up early to prepare to go exercise. At first, they had agreed to go together, but Woo-jin refused to get up. Ju-mi has no choice but to go alone. But what she didn't expect was that she had only exercised for a little while when a guy had targeted her. He walks over, planning to get acquainted. With the active display of affection from the guy, Ju-mi, with her steel will, is still unwavering. Ju-mi says that she is a woman with a husband, but he sees that Ju-mi is so young that he doesn't believe her. Annoyed by being pursued, Ju-mi runs back home. But he refuses to give up and even follows Ju-mi all the way to her gate. After learning where Ju-mi lives, he immediately brings flowers the next day to stand in front of her door. Woo-jin happens to be coming home at this moment, so he asks Woo-jin to help him give the flowers to the beauty. Woo-jin thinks that he is talking about So-ah, so he agrees without thinking. Right at that moment, Ju-mi comes outside, and Woo-jin realizes that the beauty that he mentioned is Ju-mi. Woo-jin becomes jealous and immediately asks Ju-mi what happened. Ju-mi explains that she went to exercise and met him, but even after saying that she has a husband, he still shamelessly came here to give her flowers. Woo-jin feels that things aren't as simple as that, accusing Ju-mi of going out to tease handsome guys. Ju-mi is very angry, so she goes to see her mother-in-law to ask for advice. Mrs. Yu doesn't know whether to laugh or cry after hearing this. She comforts her, saying that men are like children, getting angry out of jealousy, hoping that Ju-mi can yield to her husband more. But Ju-mi doesn't agree with this. She thinks that men should have broad-minded thoughts. Right at that moment, the chairman came home. Everyone goes to the door to greet him. While eating, Mrs. Yu carefully picks out the fish bones, then takes out a bowl and gives it to the chairman. But because the piece of fish is too big, the chairman scolds his wife. Not only that, the chairman often orders his wife to wash his feet for him. From Ju-mi's point of view, he is simply treating his loved ones like employees, which is also creating a psychological shadow for her. She complains to Woo-jin whether when he gets older, he will also use her as the chairman. Woo-jin says that he will never do this because he can't stand the idea of his dad ordering his mom around like an emperor, telling Ju-mi not to worry. The next morning, Woo-jin wakes up and sees that Ju-mi has gone to exercise in the morning by herself. Woo-jin is very worried and immediately video calls Ju-mi. He wants to check whether there are any suspicious men around Ju-mi. Unexpectedly, at this moment that guy suddenly appears. He even chats directly with Ju-mi and Woo-jin. Woo-jin is so angry that his lungs are about to explode. He immediately orders Ju-mi to come home quickly. After Ju-mi returns home, she is scolded by her husband. She also refuses to lose, starting a fierce argument. In his anger, Woo-jin prohibits her from going out to exercise again. Ju-mi feels that that's unreasonable and says that if Woo-jin is so suspicious, then from now on, wouldn't it be better if he exercised with her? To prevent horns from growing on his head, Woo-jin swears that from now on, he will be a cheerful and athletic youth. The next day, Woo-jin goes to do morning exercises with Ju-mi. At first, Ju-mi is very happy that Woo-jin is running with her. But after learning that Woo-jin is only keeping watch on her, Ju-mi suddenly gets angry. Right at this moment, that thick-faced guy has appeared. He still thinks that Woo-jin is Ju-mi's older brother. Woo-jin explains to him, but the guy doesn't believe it. Having no other choice, Woo-jin has to kiss Ju-mi in front of him to prove it. Now, he completely gives up. Then Ju-mi is writing a manuscript at home. To take care of her, the missus personally prepares dinner. Unexpectedly, So-ah, after seeing this, feels very uncomfortable. She runs into her room, scolding Ju-mi for not fulfilling the responsibility of a daughter-in-law and saying that she is eating and playing while having her mother-in-law cook. Mrs. Yu, seeing this, gets angry and hits So-ah. So-ah feels very heartbroken. She runs to complain to the chairman. Although the chairman thinks that So-ah shouldn't treat Ju-mi like that, he also feels that his wife has a level of concern that goes far beyond the relationship between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Mrs. Yu, hearing this, knows that she will have to be more careful in the future. Not long after, Ju-mi goes to visit her older sister at the company where she works. Unexpectedly, she sees Woo-jin's aunt slapping her older sister's face. Seeing her aunt being too cruel to her older sister, Ju-mi, scared, quickly asks Ju-young what happened. It takes a long time to recount the whole story. It turns out that her older sister has fallen in love with Woo-bin, Woo-jin's cousin. But Woo-bin's mom can't accept having a divorced person marry her son. Later, when learning that she and Ju-mi are biological sisters, Woo-bin's whole family speaks out in fierce opposition. because this kind of relationship is too messy. But because of Woo Bin's noble love, Ju Young feels that this isn't a problem at all. Because of this, Woo Bin and his family are having problems. He has even left home. That's why Woo Bin's mom was so angry that she beat Ju Mi's older sister so brutally. Knowing that her older sister's love path is very difficult, Ju Mi feels very guilty about Ju Young. She encourages her older sister to try her best, because if the two people love each other, then eventually they will have the opportunity to be together, no matter who opposes it. That night, Woo Jin and Woo Bin meet to talk. He doesn't understand why, in a world with thousands of women, Woo Bin chose Jo Mi's older sister. Facing such complicated relationships makes Woo Bin's thoughts almost dry up, although Woo Bin feels very guilty about Ju Mi. As their love has become an obstacle for the two of them, he doesn't agree with the two people continuing to date. Hearing the cousin, who always supports him, expressing his opposition makes Woo Bin very disappointed, but he won't give up so easily. Then Woo Bin returns home feeling depressed, discovering that Ju Mi is even more unhappy than him. After asking, he learns that Ju Mi feels guilty for becoming an obstacle for her older sister. Woo Bin comforts her, saying that they are getting married, because he and Yu love each other righteously. She shouldn't blame herself too much. At the same time, he also expresses his opposition to the love between her older sister and Woo Bin. Ju Mi is very confused after hearing this, asking him why he opposes it. If her older sister gets married first, then would he break up with her? Woo Jin answers, without thinking that he would break up with her. Ju Mi, hearing these words, gets angry. She can't stand a man who looks down on the value of love. Ju Mi straightforwardly takes out the pillow, throws it out, and pushes her husband off the bed, not letting him sleep with her, which makes Woo Jin freeze. The next day, Ju Mi starts the Cold War with Woo Jin. Even when Woo Jin proactively talks to her, Ju Mi ignores him and can't pick up the phone. This war lasts all day. Then Woo Jin doesn't even contact her, which makes Ju Mi even more angry. Right when Ju Mi is thinking about how to punish her husband, Woo Jin makes a video call, not letting Woo Jin see that she is waiting for him. Ju Mi hurriedly turns off the lights and lies down, pretending to be asleep, but the makeup on her face has betrayed her. Woo Jin, with his keen eyes, immediately exposes her. Ju Mi, embarrassed, hurriedly ends the video call. Woo Jin knows that it won't be easy to reassure Ju Mi, so he has to try his best to make her happy. He constantly sends her pictures of him acting foolish. Ju Mi laughs and finally forgives Woo Jin. Very quickly after, it's the 100-day anniversary of the two getting married. Ju Mi makes a cake herself for this special day. Seeing that everything Ju Mi prepared so carefully, Woo Jin is also very touched. He asks Ju Mi what gift she wants. As the daughter-in-law of a wealthy family, Ju Mi doesn't lack anything now. The only thing she is lacking is motherly love from when she was young. She wishes that she could meet her mom, who she has lost contact with for many years. At first, she only thought of that as a fleeting wish, but Woo Jin engraves it deeply in his heart. After the date, the two return home. At this moment, the chairman says to the two that Woo Bin's family has accepted the marriage of Woo Bin and Ju Young. The two are extremely shocked by this. It turns out that after Woo Bin left home, because of the opposition of his family, he started giving up on himself. He drank a lot to relieve the sadness. In his anger, he fought with the people nearby, and finally the whole group was brought to the police station. When Woo Bin's parents were notified and came here, seeing her son's face beaten up to such a battered state scared her. She was worried that if she continued to oppose him, then Woo Bin would do something even bolder, so his mom has no choice but to compromise. Although Woo Bin's mom didn't easily accept her older sister, Ju Min is still happy, because her older sister is starting to have an opportunity. Woo Jin doesn't care too much about this. He only wants to help Ju Min find her mom again. Then he goes to find Ju Min's grandmother, wanting to ask for some clues from her. When learning about the intention of Woo Jin coming here, scares the two grandmothers so much that they almost faint on the spot. The grandmother tells Woo Jin not to continue searching. To persuade Woo Jin, she says that a long time has passed, so maybe Ju Min's mom already has a family. Even if they find her, they don't know how to face her. Woo Jin wants to say something, but she says that if he wants to find her, then he should wait until she has died, and then go find Ju Min's mom. Seeing that the grandmother is so resolute, Woo Jin feels very confused. This makes him even more curious about the past of Ju Min's family. After thinking about it for a long time, Woo Jin, the son-in-law, finally called a private investigator to find out his wife's mother's identity. Knowing Woo Jin wanted to help Ju Mi find her biological mother, Yu was terrified. She couldn't handle the pressure and even wanted to confess everything to Woo Jin herself. But after seeing Woo Jin and Ju Mai so in love, she really couldn't bring herself to ruin their hard-won happiness. Currently, Woo Bin wants to take Ju Young home to meet his family. This is the scene Mrs. Yu dreads the most, because after divorcing Ju Young's dad, Mrs. Yu toyed with Woo Bin's feelings. Woo Bin's uncle was forced to leave the country because of the scandal and eventually died abroad, although they appeared to have a harmonious and beautiful relationship on the surface. In reality, Woo Bin's mother harbored resentment towards her, always believing that Mrs. Yu was responsible for her brother's death. Because of this, Mrs. Yu was terrified that Mrs. Min would ask about Ju Young's father's identity. If she found out about their relationship, everything would fall apart. Not long after, Ju Young officially met Woo Bin's family. Woo Bin's parents immediately inquired about the father of the two sisters. Seeing that her carefully hidden secret was about to be exposed, Mrs. Yu, filled with fear, pretended to be ill. The chairman quickly asked Woo Jin to take her to the hospital, and that's how the issue of Ju Mi's father's identity was resolved. Both Ju Mai and Ju Young married their cousins from the same family, but the treatment they received from their in-laws was completely different. When Ju Mi got married, Woo Jin's family not only didn't ask for a dowry from her, but the groom delivered gold and silver to her family. However, when it was her sister's turn to get married, Woo Bin's mother refused to budge. To gather enough dowry, Ju Young's grandmother withdrew all her savings from her pension, which she had accumulated over decades, and handed it over to Mrs. Min's family. But when Mrs. Min received the money, she expressed disgust, saying that it wasn't even enough to buy a watch. The grandmother knew the other party was intentionally making things difficult, but for her granddaughter's happiness, she could only endure in silence. As the biological mother of the two sisters, whose identities were unknown, Mrs. Yu was very worried when she learned about this. She stepped forward to persuade her daughter-in-law, saying that Ju Mai and Ju Young's grandmother had not had an easy time raising the two sisters from a young age. So why was she making things so difficult? However, Woo Bin's mother disagreed with her at all, directly expressing her deep dissatisfaction with Ju Young's future daughter-in-law. When her emotions surged, she even said that she wasn't satisfied with Ju Mai either, which made Ju Mi incredibly embarrassed. If the other party wasn't an elder, she would have wanted to hit her. Ju Mai thought that her older sister would have to face such a cruel mother-in-law in the future, and she felt very uneasy. She called her sister and told Ju Young everything that had just happened. If her sister also had a mother-in-law like her own, who treated her like her own daughter, that would be great. But Ju Mi didn't know that the wonderful mother-in-law she was referring to was her long-lost biological mother. After Woo Bin's mother left, Mrs. Yu became increasingly worried. Now that Ju Young knew nothing, what if they discovered that she was Ju Young's biological mother? Mrs. Min would torment Ju Young even more. For her daughter's happiness, she thought of a way to prevent Ju Young's marriage. Mrs. Yu made an appointment to meet Ju Young's grandmother, who said that she had once been in a relationship with her husband's student, and her lover was Woo Bin's uncle. Grandma was shocked to learn about this. She couldn't believe that the chairman, despite knowing this, still took Mrs. Yu as his concubine. If this marriage continued, the secret about her past would sooner or later be exposed. To avoid affecting Ju Mai and Woo Jin's current marriage, the grandmother told Mrs. Yu that she had to tell Ju Young the truth about her identity, causing Ju Young to end her relationship with Woo Bin. Mrs. Yu knew that doing so was cruel, but for the happiness of Ju Mai and Woo Jin, it was the only way. After thinking for a while, Mrs. Yu invited Ju Young out for a drink. She wanted to tell Ju Young the truth directly, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. Looking at her eldest daughter in front of her, happy in her love with Woo Bin, Mrs. Yu gave up the idea of revealing the truth. But she didn't know that her identity was about to be exposed. Woo Jin soon discovered this when he saw the information the private investigator gave him. He couldn't believe that his wife's biological mother was also his stepmother. After learning this shocking secret, Woo Jin didn't know how to face Ju Mai. Ju Mai was still happy in her sweet life. As a newlywed, she asked Woo Jin to take her to see a musical. Ju Mi enjoyed the performance, but Woo Jin was worried. After returning home, Ju Mi took the initiative to approach Woo Jin, but he seemed absent-minded and didn't pay attention to her words, which made Ju Mai a little disappointed. The next day, Woo Jin looked coldly at his stepmother. Mrs. Yu noticed something was wrong and asked him what was going on. Woo Jin made up an excuse that he was tired, so he was acting that way. Because of this issue, Woo Jin felt confused, and his work performance was also affected. He started to remember the process of his marriage to Ju Mi, realizing that her grandmother and his stepmother had deliberately concealed this issue. He couldn't understand how a mother could allow her biological daughter to become her daughter-in-law. He rushed home, out of breath, and angrily confronted Mrs. Yu. But this was just his imagination. The moment Wu Jin saw his stepmother, the words he was about to say died in his throat. His stepmother had always treated him like her own son, and when his father was paralyzed, she was the one who always stayed by his side to take care of him. To avoid family conflict, Wu Jin simply suppressed this secret. When he felt overwhelmed, he could only numb himself with alcohol. Seeing Wu Jin drunk and talking nonsense, Ju Mai felt very strange. The next day, Ju Mai asked Wu Jin what was wrong, but he coldly said there was nothing, then kissed her and went to work. Wu Jin's unusual behavior made Ju Mai very uncomfortable. She complained to Mrs. Yu that Wu Jin was like a different person. Mrs. Yu, after hearing this, became suspicious and recalled Wu Jin's desire to help Ju Mai find her biological mother. Could Wu Jin know something? She quickly asked Ju Mai to find out what was going on with Wu Jin. Later, Ju Mai went to the resort and asked with concern about what had happened to Wu Jin. Faced with Ju Mai's worry, Wu Jin found it difficult to explain. He knew Ju Mai was eager to find her biological mother, but the truth would only hurt her. Wu Jin lied that he had tried his best, but he couldn't find any trace of Ju Mai's biological mother. Then Wu Jin said that if possible, he was willing to give Ju Mai the maternal love she was missing. Ju Mai was deeply touched after hearing this, and gave up her search for her biological mother. Seeing that he could live happily with Ju Mai without shame, Wu Jin felt incredibly happy. However, what he didn't expect was that while Mrs. Yu was tidying up the living room, she suddenly received a strange phone call. The person on the other end asked her how she felt about treating her daughter as her daughter-in-law. Mrs. Yu was so frightened that she almost lost her soul. She quickly hung up the phone. At first, she thought it was a joke and didn't pay much attention. But soon after, she received a package delivered express. When she opened it and looked inside, it contained information about her and her 2 daughters. Now, she was terrified and didn't know what to do. Just then, the chairman returned home. Not wanting him to suspect anything, she lied that it was a sales advertisement, and then, when no one was home, quickly hid the information in the cupboard. In the following days, Mrs. Yu was constantly worried, her whole being consumed by fear. She didn't even notice when the pot on the stove caught fire. When Ju Mai came to remind her, she hurriedly took the pot out, accidentally burning her hand in the process. The family witnessed this and immediately became concerned. The next day, fearing that a family member might accidentally answer the phone, she anxiously waited for the call all day. Finally, the phone rang. This time, the private investigator directly invited her to a nearby coffee shop. As soon as they met, he demanded 100 million won in hush money to keep the secret, and threatened that if she refused, he would expose the scandal. After being blackmailed, Mrs. Yu collapsed. Although she was the wife of a wealthy conglomerate chairman, she didn't have much personal money after being a housewife for decades. She could only ask the detective for time to get the money, but he didn't care about her life or death. He just wanted the money as soon as possible. He would call her now and then to threaten her. While she was talking on the phone, Hu Jin, who was pouring water for Ju Mai, accidentally overheard the conversation. This sparked Wu Jin's suspicion. At the same time, Wu Bin and Ju Young, witnessed by the family members, successfully held their engagement ceremony. She knew if she continued to delay, Ju Young and Wu Bin's marriage would also end. So she went to the agribank to withdraw all her savings. But the amount was too little, so in desperation, she had to go to Wu Bin's mother to borrow money. Mrs. Min was preparing for her son's wedding. While Yu didn't say what she needed the money for, she immediately asked to borrow 50 million won, which aroused suspicion. She couldn't understand why a housewife like Yu would suddenly need such a large sum. If Yu was truly short on money, why didn't she go to the chairman and Wu Jin? Wu Jin also became worried after hearing this. He remembered that he had overheard his stepmother's phone conversation before. Lately, his stepmother had been going out frequently. The more he thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. He felt his stepmother was being threatened by something. That afternoon when he went home from work, he accidentally saw his stepmother talking on the phone with a mysterious person about the time and place to meet. To protect her, Wu Jin stayed calm and secretly followed them when they met. That's when he realized the private investigator he hired was the one threatening Mrs. Yu. He wasn't satisfied with the payment and kept threatening her, demanding the rest of the money within a week. Seeing how ungrateful the investigator was, Wu Jin punched him in the face, but the guy wasn't scared. He even challenged Wu Jin. Facing this ruthless guy, Wu Jin knew violence wouldn't solve anything, so he decided to pay to get rid of the problem. Just when Mrs. Yu was about to sell her precious diamond ring in despair, she started crying when the investigator told her that Wu Jin had paid the remaining amount. Mrs. Yu was totally surprised and overjoyed when she found out. so she rushed to Wu Jin and confessed everything. After hearing the real reason behind what his stepmother had done, Wu Jin just stayed silent. He knew deep down that if she'd revealed her connection to Ju Mai from the start, he and Ju Mai wouldn't be as happy as they are now. So, he chose to forgive her and promised to keep her secret. After that, Wu Jin remembered that intimate moment he had with Ju Mai last time. It only lasted like 2 minutes. He looked in the mirror and saw his six-pack had turned into one solid block. Wu Jin started panicking. He remembered his coworker's advice that if there's a big age gap between a husband and wife, the husband needs to seriously up his fitness game. So while everyone in the house was sound asleep, he sneaked into the main hall and started using his super rich dad's workout equipment. What blew his mind was the amount of weight his dad usually worked out with. It was way beyond anything he could have imagined. Wu Jin could only grit his teeth and push them down. Just when he was getting into the groove of his workout, the chairman suddenly showed up. The moment their eyes met, Wu Jin was super embarrassed. He just mumbled that he was curious and ran off in total desperation. The next day, they all went to his wife's parents' house for a meal before their trip. Soon after, the whole family, the four of them, headed to a resort to relax. On the way, Ju Mai kept feeling tired. She thought she was getting car sick, but Wu Jin found it strange because she usually doesn't get like that. He figured she was just feeling under the weather. Once they got out of the car, Ju Mai felt much better, so everyone just brushed it off. But then, right as the whole family was enjoying their food in the restaurant, Ju Mi started feeling nauseous again. Her favorite steak, the one she always loved, suddenly became super unappetizing. When her in-laws saw that, they immediately got suspicious. After they got back to the house, Mrs. Yu figured that Ju Mi was showing signs of pregnancy. Hearing this, the chairman took it super seriously and told Mrs. Yu to take Ju Mai to the hospital for a checkup the next day. Wu Jin was also worried about how Ju Mai was feeling. He was about to sit down on the bed and try to convince Ju Mi to go to the hospital the next day, when, out of nowhere, Ju Mai got bothered by the smell of his lotion. She kept telling him to go wash it off immediately. Wu Jin had no idea why his wife was reacting so strongly. The next day, Mrs. Yu took Ju Mai to the hospital for an examination. The test results came back positive. She was pregnant. Ju Mi couldn't believe it, but her mother-in-law was overjoyed. She hugged Ju Mai and congratulated her. After leaving the hospital, they were both itching to tell the good news to the guys. The moment the chairman got the call, he was just pure happy because he'd been waiting so long for a grandchild. Right after hanging up, he told his younger brother all about it. Wu Jin's uncle was super happy too, because their family hadn't had any kids in a long time. When Wu Jin got the text, he immediately expressed how happy he was and thanked the heavens. They were both super amused by Wu Jin's text. Later on, Wu Bin and Ju Young also found out that Ju Mi was pregnant. They bought some fruit and went to visit her. Wu Bin brought a multivitamin specifically for pregnant women, and Ju Young brought a pair of baby booties perfect for her little sister. Ju Mai was super touched after getting the gifts. At first, she wanted to invite her sister and cousin to come in and hang out for a bit, but the newly engaged couple felt like they should get going. Making plans sounded way more appealing than just sitting around. Then, Wu Jin came home from work and saw Ju Mi standing at the door. He quickly told her that she didn't need to wait for him because it was cold outside. He said, "What if you get sick?" Ju Mai didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she heard that. She explained that she was just outside to get the fruit from her sister and Wu Bin, and he just happened to be coming home from work right after she got it. After finding out that other people gave her gifts before him, Wu Jin suddenly felt a little bummed. He snatched the gift from Ju Mi's hand, and then he presented the bouquet he had carefully picked out to her. He originally wanted to tell Ju Mai some sweet, romantic things, but he blanked and didn't know how to say it. Ju Mai saw that and encouraged him. With her encouragement, Wu Jin finally said it. Ju Mi was overjoyed and went to kiss him. They both enjoyed this happy moment. Just after finding out she was pregnant, daughter-in-law Ju Mi was called to the office by her father-in-law. Without even asking, he immediately gave her a huge allowance, telling her to eat whatever she wanted and buy whatever she liked. Ju Mi was super proud that her father-in-law loved her so much. She couldn't believe that as soon as she got pregnant, he became even kinder. After leaving the office, Ju Mai was happily floating on air. She couldn't wait to tell Wu Jin about it. Soon after, Ju Mai and Wu Jin took Mrs. Yu to a baby store to shop. She saw a cute pair of baby shoes on display and immediately thought of Ju Young. She remembered what her daughter looked like when she was learning to walk as a little girl and smiled. At this point, Ju Mai brought over a fetal Doppler to ask about. This Doppler lets you talk to the baby in the womb. With something so new and interesting, Mrs. Yu couldn't help but urge her to buy it. After getting back home, the young couple was eager to be alone together and listened to the baby in the womb asking for wheat, but the baby was still too small to hear what his or her parents were saying. At this point, Jumi suddenly realizes that other people's kids have a given name, but their baby hasn't yet. They immediately started racking their brains to come up with lots of names for their child, but neither of them could decide. So they wrote the names down and gave them to the chairman and his wife to look at. When he heard Ju Mai wanted to name the baby Ki Tonggi, Wu Jin immediately lost it. He said he would never let his child have such a lame name. Seeing them bickering again, the chairman quickly stepped in to smooth things over. He said that those weren't the official names, so why did they have to choose one? Ju Mai explained that it was because they had to talk to the baby, just like she had two names. When she was little, her name was Ju Hua, but her grandmother thought it was too common, so she changed it to Ju Mai. The chairman thought that made sense and said he would study the names carefully before making a decision. The two of them argued all night long. The next day, the two of them went to the bookstore, looking for books about pregnancy. Because of the baby, the young couple was seriously searching for a long time. Just as Ju Mai was carefully digging up information, Wu Jin snuck up behind her, hugged her, and started reading her a romantic poem. Listening to Wu Jin's sweet words touched Ju Mi's heart. When they were relaxing that evening, Ju Mai wanted to drink milk, but they were all out. Wu Jin told Ju Mai to just deal with it, but Ju Mai felt like because she was carrying his baby, he had a responsibility, and she told Wu Jin to go out and buy it. Wu Jin wasn't happy when he heard that and started arguing back to disprove her wrong point of view. But then he saw Ju Mai getting angry, and Wu Jin got scared and quickly put on his coat to go buy it. Just as he went downstairs, he saw his stepmother lying on the table crying. He wanted to go over and comfort her, but he didn't know what had happened. The truth is, not long ago, she had experienced something unbearable. This all started on the day of Ju Young and Wu Bin's engagement. That day at the hotel where they held the ceremony, Wu Bin's mom accidentally ran into her younger brother's classmate. The two greeted each other, and after they parted ways, Mrs. Min noticed her younger brother's classmate also greeting Ju Mi's grandmother. This confused Wu Bin's mom. Not long after, her younger brother's classmate made a special trip to visit her. The two of them talked about it, and when she found out that he and her younger brother were students of her old friend's kid, Wu Bin's mom was shocked. To find out if her younger brother's instructor was Ju Young's father, she immediately called Ju Young. Turns out it was the same person. Mrs. Min was so angry, she almost fainted right there. After that, Mrs. Min stormed over to Mrs. Yu's house. Without saying a word, she slapped Mrs. Yu hard across the face and frantically asked, "How could you do something so terrible?" Faced with Mrs. Min's interrogation, Mrs. Yu had nothing to say. She could only beg Mrs. Min to forgive her. She also hoped that Mrs. Min wouldn't reveal this secret. She said that as long as Mrs. Min could help her keep this secret, even if she were asked to die, she wouldn't complain. However, Mrs. Min didn't care about any of that. She just wanted to break up Wu Bin and Ju Young's marriage as soon as possible, demanding that Mrs. Yu fix things quickly before angrily leaving. On the way home, she called her son while driving. She angrily demanded that her son immediately end his relationship with Ju Young. Unfortunately, because she was so worked up, she crashed into someone else's car right after hanging up. Before long, Mrs. Min was taken to the hospital. Luckily, she only had a sprained neck. After finding out that his wife wanted to break up Wu Bin and Ju Young's marriage, Wu Bin's dad stepped in to try to convince his wife not to do it. Mrs. Min was so angry that she ended up revealing that Mrs. Yu was the biological mother of the two sisters, Ju Mi and Ju Young. When Wu Bin's dad heard this, the shock was inevitable. Faced with such complicated and messed up family connections, he also started opposing Wu Bin and Ju Young's marriage. He told Wu Bin about the two sisters' biological mother. Even though Wu Bin was shocked, he thought, if Wu Jin and Ju Mai could get married like this, then why can't I and Ju Young? His dad said that Mrs. Yu also had a past that couldn't be told, demanding that Wu Bin obey and do as he said. But why would Wu Bin be willing to break up without an explanation? He just wanted to know why, but his mom refused to tell him. At the same time, after finding out that her future mother-in-law had to go to the hospital, Ju Young also went to visit. Unfortunately, she accidentally learned the truth about her biological mother. Ju Young immediately broke down. She quickly ran home and asked her grandmother to confirm it, but the results only made it harder for her to accept. Seeing that more and more people were finding out the truth, and that this secret couldn't be kept for much longer, Mrs. Yu had no choice but to go to the hospital and beg Mrs. Min through tears. She said that as long as Mrs. Min could accept Ju Young, even if she asked her to die, Mrs. Yu wouldn't refuse. Mrs. Min couldn't bring herself to accept Ju Young, but she promised Mrs. Yu that if she could make Ju Young and Wu Bin break up, she would keep this secret to herself. For Ju Young's happiness, she dialed Ju Young's number, planning to tell her the truth. But then, Ju Young was already standing outside the gate. The two mothers and daughters, who hadn't seen each other in over 20 years, finally met like this. Mrs. Yu wanted to talk to Ju Young, but Ju Young was so angry that she refused to listen. She just left. Ju Young really couldn't accept breaking up with Wu Bin because of her suddenly appearing as a biological mother. She angrily ran home to ask her grandmother what was going on. At the same time, Wu Bin can't accept breaking up with Ju Young. He needs to know why it's so complicated. The older generation in both families is forced to reveal how Yu's mom cheated on and toyed with Wu Bin's uncle's affections, leading to his death. After that, she abandoned her daughter and left home, eventually marrying the current chairman. Learning this secret leaves both Ju Young and Wu Bin devastated. To protect Wu Bin and Ju Young's happiness, they choose to break up, even though they don't want to. But their feelings for each other run deep, making separation incredibly difficult. The two of them kissed deeply, then went to a hotel and spent the night together. Ju Young woke up first, then left and went home, leaving Wu Bin behind. Meanwhile, the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were cooking for the family, but Ju Mi suddenly felt dizzy. She accidentally dropped and broke a plate, which worried Mrs. Yu. She knew that Ju Mi was already anemic, and now it was even worse because she was pregnant. Even though Ju Mi said she was fine, Mrs. Yu insisted she go get checked out. Soon after, she took her. After the checkup, everything turned out to be okay, and her worries were finally eased. Seeing how much her mother-in-law cared for her, Ju Mi felt happy inside. But when the two of them returned home and were waiting, the chairman heard from someone that her sister and Wu Bin had called off their engagement. Ju Mi lost it. Her sister and Wu Bin looked so happy. Why would they suddenly call off their marriage? The chairman said that he didn't know the specific reason. He just asked Ju Mi to comfort her sister. This event made Ju Mi sad. When Wu Jin came home from work and saw Ju Mi crying so miserably, he found out after asking that it was because Wu Bin and Ju Young had called off their engagement. He had heard Wu Bin mention this before, but he didn't know the specific reason that forced the two of them to break up. Wu Jin knew for sure that this had something to do with his stepmother. He met Mrs. Yu outside to talk and asked his stepmother what had happened. She was afraid that it would affect his happiness later, so she said that she had messed with the feelings of Wu Bin's uncle in the past. As a result, Wu Bin's uncle fled overseas in shame and ended up dying there. It was only then that Wu Jin knew the reason why Wu Bin's mom always had such a bad feeling about his stepmother. It was because of this incident. That's why she had tried so hard to prevent Wu Bin and Ju Young from getting married. Wu Jin not only felt bad for the two of them, but he also felt bad for his stepmother. At this time, Ju Mi also ran home, heartbroken, to ask her sister why she gave up on her marriage. To protect her younger sister's happiness, her sister, of course, couldn't tell the truth. She just said that there were too many incompatibilities between the two of them. After hearing this, Ju Mi painfully hugged her sister. Seeing the two sisters so sad, the grandmother also felt uncomfortable. Because Ju Young and Wu Bin broke up, Mrs. Yu became a shell of a person. Even when the chairman called her, she didn't react at all. The chairman didn't get a response, so he had to look for the nail clippers himself. Unexpectedly, during this search, he accidentally saw a photo with two little girls in it. It said, "Lovely Ju Young and Ju Hua." This made the chairman feel familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had heard it before. Just when he was confused, Mrs. Yu came out and snatched the photo away. That's when the chairman found out that she had two daughters with her ex-husband. The chairman saw that his wife cherished the photo so much that he figured she must miss her daughters a lot. He offered to help his wife find her daughters, but as soon as Mrs. Yu heard this, she quickly refused. He was surprised by his wife's unusual behavior, so he started wondering if his wife was hiding something from him. When he thought about what Ju Mi had mentioned before, that her name was Ju Hua. When she was little, the more he thought about it, the more he felt like something was wrong. He immediately called and arranged for his secretary to investigate the matter. Soon after, the secretary brought the information to him. The moment he found out the truth, the chairman was furious. But today was his father's Memorial Day, and his younger brother's family had come to attend. The chairman could only suppress his anger, but he couldn't hide his annoyed face all day. When everyone saw that he was in a bad mood, they were all cautious. After performing a memorial service, as usual, his younger brother and his family would usually stay and have dinner together. But the chairman flat out told Wu Bin's father and son to go home. Everyone saw this and didn't know why the chairman was so angry. Wu Bin's dad saw that his older brother was being so irritable and asked him what had happened. But the chairman didn't explain anything. He just told them to leave quickly, which made Wu Bin's family unhappy. Everyone accused the chairman of being unkind. After Wu Bin's family left, Mrs. Yu went and asked him if she had done something wrong during the memorial service. At this point, the chairman's anger couldn't be contained any longer. He immediately grabbed the investigation documents and threw them at his wife. Then, he sternly asked how Ju Mi could be her daughter. Mrs. Yu was immediately horrified when she heard this. She couldn't believe that the secret that her daughter-in-law, Ju Mai, was her biological daughter, had been discovered by her husband. And this truth, Ju Mai, who was in the living room, had also overheard. At this moment, Ju Mai felt incredibly shocked, and tears immediately started streaming down her face. Wu Jin couldn't bear to see his stepmother being scolded by his dad, so he quickly ran in and tried to say some nice things for Mrs. Yu. He argued that his stepmother had no choice but to keep this secret. The chairman became even angrier after seeing that Wu Jin also knew about it. He felt like the whole family was teaming up to deceive him. He said that he never wanted to see Mrs. Yu's face again, and angrily kicked his wife out of the room. Because he was too emotional, the chairman almost fainted. Mrs. Yu saw this situation and could only quickly get out of the way. After leaving the room, she burst into tears when she saw Ju Mai. Because of her mistakes, Ju Young's wedding had been called off, and now she was ruining Ju Mi's happiness. Mrs. Yu truly felt a lot of pain. To try and soothe his dad's anger, Wu Jin retold the whole story and emphasized that his stepmother did all this for his and Ju Mi's happiness. But for the chairman, who had strong traditional beliefs, he simply couldn't accept this kind of destruction of moral relationships. So, no matter how Wu Jin explained it, he just couldn't calm down. As for Ju Mi, she never expected that the mother she had lost contact with for the past 20 years would now be recognized in this way. Mrs. Yu was both her mother-in-law and her biological mother, which caused Ju Mai to have many mixed emotions. Even though she was very angry with her, when she thought about what her mother had gone through for the past 20 years, Ju Mai seemed to have some sympathy. So Ah found out that she and her sister-in-law were half-sisters, so she also felt very awkward. She also didn't understand why her mother wanted to hide this from her. Mrs. Yu patiently told her that all of this was for the happiness of Wu Jin and Ju Mai. The next day, she went to serve the chairman as usual. But the chairman didn't need her anymore. He would rather call Wu Jin over instead, and he also refused to let his wife touch him. She thought the chairman was only angry because she had hidden this from him and would soon forgive her. But she never expected that the chairman would bring out a savings account and force her to leave the house. No matter how much Mrs. Yu begged, the chairman refused to forgive her. She knew she was wrong for deliberately hiding her identity, so she explained the family situation to Ju Mi, and then began to quietly prepare to leave. Ever since the chairman found out that Ju Mai was Mrs. Yu's biological daughter, his attitude towards Ju Mai had changed 180 degrees. He started becoming cold towards her, and Ah blamed Ju Mai for everything that had just happened. Faced with this mess, Ju Mai felt very uncomfortable at home. She ran to talk to her sister, Ju Young. She didn't expect that her sister had known for a long time that Mrs. Yu was their biological mother. They just wanted to protect her happiness, even though they knew that their mother had been kicked out by their grandmother and didn't intentionally abandon them. The moment their mother appeared, it destroyed the two sisters' happiness. This made it impossible for her sister to forgive their mother. On the other hand, Ju Mai felt that everything her mother did was full of bitterness. She felt that her mother's life was too pitiful. This pity completely overshadowed her hatred, so she chose to forgive her mother. Afterward, Ju Mai returned home and felt very sorry for her grandmother. Her grandmother had strongly opposed her marriage to Wu Jin. She couldn't understand her grandmother's feelings at the time, which made her grandmother sad. Knowing that all the secrets had been exposed, her grandmother's heart was indescribable. She couldn't imagine what would happen next to the two of them. At this time, Mrs. Yu had cleaned up the house. She prepared an outfit for the baby. After placing it on Ju Mi's dressing table, she looked at everything in the house reluctantly. She knew she couldn't protect Ju Mai anymore. After leaving a letter for the chairman, she picked up her suitcase and left. And she didn't even take the money that the chairman had given her. When Ju Mai returned home, she found the house incredibly quiet. Thinking back to Mrs. Yu's unusual behavior, she had a bad feeling. She rushed to the chairman's room and discovered that her mother had written a goodbye letter. Ju Mai read it and burst into tears. She quickly told Wu Jin that her mother had left home. The three of them gathered together to try and contact her, but her phone was turned off and couldn't be reached. So Ah was very sad. She didn't understand why her mother could abandon her. Ju Mai was even more heartbroken. After 20 years, she finally found out who her mother was, but she left without saying goodbye. They told the chairman about it, but he was very indifferent to the matter. demanding that they never mention Mrs. Yu in front of him again. That's when they realized that their mother had been kicked out by the rich father. And both Ju Mai and Wu Jin found it hard to accept. Wu Jin thought that he and Ju Mai had no blood relationship, and that his stepmother had done this entirely for his happiness. Why could his dad kick out the mother, who had worked hard for 20 years? The chairman said that morality came first, and he didn't accept Wu Jin's plea at all. Seeing that communication was not working, Wu Jin angrily left the room. Unexpectedly, as soon as he stepped out of the door, he saw Ju Mai sitting on the sofa in pain because the baby was moving too much. Wu Jin got scared and quickly carried Ju Mai to the hospital. Fortunately, nothing serious ended up happening, but the doctor still reminded them that Ju Mi was at risk of miscarriage and told them to be more careful. Afterward, Wu Jin's uncle found out that the chairman had kicked his wife out, and he came to try and convince his brother. Sister-in-law has served you so diligently and without complaint for the past 20 years. How can you kick her out so easily? If it weren't for her care, your life would be very inconvenient in the future. However, the chairman was very stubborn. No matter who tried to convince him, he wouldn't listen. He felt that even without that woman, he could still live well on his own. The paralyzed chairman simply didn't want anyone's help and wanted to do everything himself. Wu Jin wanted to help him when he saw him struggling like this, but he was pushed away. His father's stubborn attitude made Wu Jin feel dissatisfied. Wu Jin thought he had to find his stepmother, so he went to Ju Mi's house. He wanted to find out where his stepmother was from her grandmother. However, they had cut off contact with Mrs. Yu more than 20 years ago, so how could they know where Mrs. Yu was now? Hearing that the chairman was so angry that he kicked his wife out of the house, they couldn't help but worry about Ju Mi. Unexpectedly at this time, Mrs. Yu took the initiative to meet Ju Young because she was worried about Ju Mai and hoped Ju Young could help take care of Ju Mai. Even though Ju Young still couldn't forgive her mother, she hoped that her mother wouldn't suddenly disappear like a child. She even warned her mother with harsh words. That night, Ju Young drank a lot of alcohol and hugged Ju Mai while crying. She told her younger sister about meeting their mother. When they found out that she was still safe and sound, Ju Mi and Wu Jin also felt relieved. Although Mrs. Yu wasn't willing to meet them yet, they believed that one day she would return home. Ju Mi decided to take on the important responsibility of taking care of the family during this time. So didn't eat or drink anything after her mother left home. Ju Mi personally brought food to Su and kindly offered her advice, but So didn't appreciate it at all. She even said that if Jo Mai hadn't married her brother, their mother wouldn't have left home. It was all Ju Mi's fault. Ju Mai felt pretty helpless, but this was nothing. She wanted to take care of the chairman, but the chairman ignored her. He would rather have the caregiver help him instead. This made Ju Mai very hurt, so she told Wu Jin. Wu Jin felt guilty towards Ju Mi, so he ran to reason with his dad, saying that these things weren't Ju Mi's fault. But the chairman ignored him after hearing this. He still wouldn't even look at Ju Mai, treating her like air. Not wanting Ju Mai to have to work hard, Wu Jin could only speed up his search for his stepmother. He finally discovered that his stepmother had a distant relative. Wu Jin hurriedly made an appointment to meet them, but the relative hadn't seen Mrs. Yu in many years. After returning home, So blamed him again for not going to look for their mother. The two siblings started arguing about this. Seeing this, Ju Mai spoke up to persuade them to make peace, but So told her to be quiet. Wu Jin got angry when he heard this and taught So a lesson. Then, she ran away from home. Ju Mai saw this and quickly ran out to persuade her to stay. Who could have known that during the argument, So accidentally pushed Ju Mai down the stairs. Ju Mi already had a risk of miscarriage, and now falling like this caused her to lose the baby. The young couple fell into extreme grief. Ju Mai blamed herself a lot for not protecting the baby in her womb properly. Wu Jin could only continue to comfort Ju Mai. Although he regretted the loss of their child, he was grateful that his wife was okay. After finding out that Ju Mi had a miscarriage, So still acted oblivious. She claimed that this issue had nothing to do with her. She said Jo Mai fell on her own. Faced with this outcome, the chairman also began to worry. Was he wrong to kick his wife out of the house? Afterward, to help Ju Mai get over the pain quickly, Wu Jin took Ju Mi to her grandmother's house as soon as she was discharged from the hospital. Learning that Ju Mai had a miscarriage unexpectedly, her grandmother felt even more heartbroken than if she'd been stabbed in the back. If Jo Mi hadn't lied and said she fell out of bed, her grandmother probably would have grabbed a 6-foot-long knife and charged over to Wu Jin's house. Afterward, Ju Mai rested at her grandmother's house for a few days. Under her grandmother's care, Ju Mi's health recovered quickly. To celebrate Ju Mi's recovery, Wu Jin specially prepared flowers and gifts for her. Seeing how well Wu Jin treated her, Jumi's gloomy mood improved immediately. They thought that after her miscarriage, the chairman would change his attitude towards Jumi and might even forgive his wife because of it. But what they never expected was that this old geezer demanded that they get divorced. He said that because the two of them got married and then Jumi got pregnant, he never had the heart to say anything. But now Jumi had a miscarriage, so they should break up quickly and take advantage of this wonderful day. Faced with the chairman's decision, Jumi and Wu Jin found it hard to accept. This wasn't something a father should do. Because of this, Wu Jin argued with the chairman. He firmly asserted that even if he left home, he would never break up. Afterward, Wu Jin comforted Jumi, saying that he would never separate from her and that she should take good care of herself and not think too much. Seeing that Jumi and Wu Jin weren't following his wishes, the chairman's attitude towards Jumi got worse and worse. When Jumi prepared his lunchbox for him, he didn't even take a bite. When he returned home and was greeted by Jumi, he also directly treated her like air. At the same time, So-ah was causing a disturbance at the police station because she couldn't find her mother. Returning home, she even wanted to kick Jumi out. Wu Jin hated seeing his dad and sister bully his sweetheart like this. He considered moving out. Jumi didn't want to see the family break apart, so she told him to calm down. She said that only they could protect this family well, and then her mom would come back soon. Under Jumi's persuasion, Wu Jin calmed down. He texted his stepmother about what happened at home. On the other hand, after Mrs. Yu left home, she became a volunteer at an orphanage. That night, she turned on her phone, which had been off for a long time, and found out that Jumi had a miscarriage. Her mood was immediately devastated. Not only that, but the chairman was also forcing them to divorce. Mrs. Yu immediately broke down. She knew it was all her fault, so she went to the chairman's office and knelt, begging him for forgiveness. She hoped the chairman would take out all his anger on her, but he said that if she died, he would feel relieved. The stubborn chairman wouldn't compromise. Faced with such an outcome, Mrs. Yu, in despair, walked into the river without hesitation. She prepared to protect Wu Jin and Jumi's marriage with her own life. Fortunately, she was rescued in the end. After finding out that his mother had attempted suicide, Wu Jin and Jumi were rushed to the hospital. Mrs. Yu tried to hide it, but the doctor told them that she had been rescued in time, so there was nothing seriously wrong with her body. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this. Knowing that her mother had done something so foolish made Jumi very sad, and she cried. Mrs. Yu, hiding in the corner, also saw this scene. After returning home, Wu Jin felt very angry. He blamed his father. Because of his stubbornness, his wife had gone to the river to commit suicide. However, the chairman firmly believed that what he had done was right. The two fathers and sons disagreed again. Even though the chairman said that on the surface, deep down in his heart, he still had feelings for Mrs. Yu. From that day on, the chairman started feeling down and couldn't eat. He just lay in bed all day and could barely participate in the company's activities. Not long after, he developed a high fever and fell into a coma. His family members were extremely scared when they witnessed this scene, so they took him to the hospital quickly. After a period of treatment, although the doctor stabilized his condition, the situation was still not optimistic. Seeing the chairman become like this, the uncle thought that it was because Mrs. Yu's suicide attempt had a big impact on the chairman. He broke down because he couldn't bear it anymore. He said the most urgent task was to find her and bring her back. At first, Wu Jin was afraid that his dad couldn't accept his stepmother, so he didn't dare go looking. After hearing his uncle's words, Wu Jin quickly had many people begin the search. Meanwhile, the chairman was moved to the intensive care unit because his condition was getting worse and worse. It seemed like he could pass away at any moment. The whole family was panicking, but perhaps it was due to the telepathy between husband and wife. That night, Mrs. Yu dreamed that the chairman was being taken to the hospital for emergency treatment, and that he ultimately didn't make it. Mrs. Yu got scared and woke up immediately. She quickly turned on her phone and found out that the chairman had been hospitalized. At the same time, because she had turned on her phone, the police quickly tracked her location through GPS, and they immediately informed Wu Jin. After a period of searching, Wu Jin finally met Mrs. Yu. Even though Mrs. Yu knew the chairman had been hospitalized, she didn't know that he was on the verge of death. Wu Jin told her that his dad had been moved to the intensive care unit and invited her to come visit him. After much consideration, she still went to the hospital. Seeing that the chairman was now unconscious, she had many mixed emotions in her heart, but now there was nothing she could do to help. She could only silently say to him, hoping her husband would recover soon. Perhaps it was the telepathy between the two spouses that moved the chairman. Just as Mrs. Yu was preparing to leave, the chairman tightly grasped his wife's hand. Perhaps it was their noble love that had given the chairman energy. The next day, the chairman was moved out of the intensive care unit and woke up. The first thing the chairman asked after waking up was where his wife was. Everyone felt confused. After the examination, the doctor told Wu Jin that the chairman had selective amnesia due to a severe psychological blow. He had forgotten that Ju Mai was Mrs. Yu's biological daughter, and the amnesiac chairman, after seeing that his wife wasn't by his side, was crying out to see her. Following the doctor's advice, Wu Jin had no choice but to go find his stepmother. He hoped she would come back and take care of his dad as before. At first, she was worried that the chairman would get agitated when he saw her, but when she arrived at the hospital, it was just as they had predicted. The chairman had completely forgotten what had happened before. Seeing everything return to the way it was before, with the whole family happy, no one knew if this was good or bad. In the days that followed, Mrs. Yu cared for the chairman with all her heart. Ju Mi, on the other hand, was worried that her father-in-law wouldn't get used to the hospital food, so she brought a lunchbox for him every day. Seeing Ju Mai being so virtuous, the chairman couldn't help but praise Ju Mai repeatedly. At the same time, he also didn't forget to care about the baby in Ju Mai's womb, but he forgot that Ju Mai had had a miscarriage. After hearing this, Ju Mai could only endure the sadness and lie, saying that the baby was fine. Under Mrs. Yu's attentive care, the chairman's body recovered quickly. Seeing the chairman smile, Ju Mi was also very happy. Even though the whole family was happy now, Wu Jin still hoped that his dad could regain his memory soon. The doctor told Wu Jin that patients with selective amnesia deliberately choose to erase painful memories. We can only let him recover slowly on his own, and suggested that Wu Jin shouldn't actively stimulate the chairman. Wu Jin felt guilty about his stepmother, so he worked hard to take care of his dad for many days, letting his stepmother go home to rest. After such a long time, Mrs. Yu finally returned home to be with her daughters, and Wu Jin, at the hospital, rubbed his father's feet for the first time. This was also the first time in over 30 years that the two fathers and sons were so close. The chairman felt that all of this was because of Ju Mai. It was Ju Mai who had changed Wu Jin's cold personality, so he thanked Ju Mai properly. He ordered Wu Jin to take Ju Mi on a date to rekindle their feelings, eat some delicious food, watch a movie or something. Because of the chairman's orders, the young couple also enjoyed a period of happiness that they hadn't had in a long time. Not long after, the chairman was finally discharged and returned home. Seeing the caregiver at home, he immediately asked when they had hired a housekeeper. Seeing all the familiar things at home also made him feel like fragments of memories were rushing back into his mind, but he didn't know if it was an illusion or reality. However, after being discharged, he hadn't fully recovered. When he ate, he felt exhausted, even after only taking a few bites. Wu Jin suggested that he eat in his bedroom. Ju Mai thoughtfully prepared a small table for him, which would be much more convenient for the chairman to eat and read while lying in bed. To make the chairman less bored, Ju Mi also taught him how to play cards. The serious chairman had a great time. However, that harmonious and beautiful time would soon be broken. As the chairman's health gradually improved, more and more fragments of memory flooded into his mind. In the middle of the night, he was awakened by previous memories, but he couldn't tell if this was reality or a nightmare. When he woke up, he said that he shouldn't have been so malicious to his wife before. Mrs. Yu could only carefully comfort her husband after hearing this. Afterward, the chairman accidentally found the savings account in the cabinet next to the bed. It's the divorce settlement money he gave his wife. Witnessing a large amount of unexplained deposits made the chairman feel very strange. Mrs. Yu panicked when she saw this and could only lie, saying that it was her money that she had saved. The next day, Wu Jin's uncle and aunt came to visit the chairman. After a few greetings, Mrs. Min inadvertently asked about Ju Mi's physical condition after her miscarriage. The chairman was extremely shocked after hearing this. That's when Mrs. Min realized she had said something she shouldn't have. After they left, the chairman angrily accused everyone of lying to him. His family said that it was because they were afraid that bad news would make his condition worse, so they didn't tell him. After this incident, the chairman realized that something was wrong with his memory. He went to the hospital and asked his old friend what had happened to him. The doctor's friend didn't avoid the issue and told him about his selective amnesia. The chairman had forgotten all the memories after kicking his wife out of the house. He was very surprised after hearing this and wanted to know why he had kicked his wife out. The chairman asked his wife, but Mrs. Yu stubbornly refused to say, leading to a nosebleed. Even though his wife couldn't stand the pressure and got sick, the chairman didn't give up on finding out. He called Wu Jin in for questioning. Wu Jin felt anxious. This situation wouldn't be resolved if it continued. So Mrs. Yu took out the information about herself and Ju Mai, and then confessed everything to the chairman. He immediately remembered everything. He felt annoyed that his family treated him like a child. After that, he started losing his temper, locking himself up, and not listening to anyone in the family's persuasion. What made the family even more surprised was that he had asked his secretary to prepare divorce papers. Seeing this, the family went to persuade him. Unexpectedly, at this time, Mrs. Yu agreed to the divorce, but on the condition that the agreement would be signed after the chairman recovered. He started getting angry and cursing at Ju Mi. Seeing the chairman tormenting his wife, Wu Jin felt extremely heartbroken. Ju Mi even intended to break up with Wu Jin. Fortunately, Wu Jin comforted her, telling her not to think wildly. However, a bigger crisis was quietly happening. Mrs. Yu's health was deteriorating rapidly. Nosebleeds could occur at any time. She fainted while going to the supermarket, and she was becoming increasingly unable to take care of the chairman. Seeing this, her family forced her to go to the hospital for a checkup. After going to the doctor, she found out that she had leukemia. Faced with this bad news, Mrs. Yu felt extremely desperate and helpless. But to avoid making her family worry, she didn't tell them about it. Afterward, under the attentive care of her and Ju Mi, the chairman's body fully recovered. He could even exercise on his own. Mrs. Yu then kept her promise and took him to complete the divorce procedures. She left a goodbye letter and then quietly left the house, and she didn't even take her cell phone with her when she left. After finding out that the chairman had kicked his wife out of the house again, they really couldn't understand why their dad was so cruel. But in the face of the chairman's anger, there was nothing they could do. Just when the house was in an uproar, Wu Jin unexpectedly received a call from the hospital, reminding him to bring Mrs. Yu to the hospital for treatment. Wu Jin rushed to the hospital and asked the doctor what was wrong. That's when he found out that his stepmother had leukemia. The only good news was that this disease was theoretically curable, but they needed to find a suitable bone marrow match for a transplant as soon as possible. Otherwise, Mrs. Yu's life would be in danger at any time. After finding out, Wu Jin quickly told Ju Mi. Ju Mi collapsed as soon as she heard, and then told her grandmother and sister this news. The whole family mourned Mrs. Yu's tragic fate. To avoid provoking the chairman, who had just recovered, they didn't tell him about it. At the same time, Wu Jin was also inquiring about her whereabouts. He wanted to take his mother-in-law to the hospital for treatment as soon as possible. When there was no trace of her, and treatment was about to be delayed, Wu Jin had no choice but to ask his dad if he knew where his stepmother had gone. But this grumpy old man was very cold-hearted. He even said that even if he found her, he wouldn't let his wife come back. Wu Jin was very angry after hearing this. In the end, they could only tell him about her illness. At first, the chairman didn't believe it until he confirmed it with his old friend at the hospital. That's when he realized the seriousness of the situation. Feelings of guilt surged up in his heart, so he got drunk and blamed himself. This was also the first time Wu Jin had seen his dad so sad. The next day, when the chairman arrived at the company, he summoned his younger brother, saying that no matter the cost, they had to find his wife and bring her back. Although they had used all their resources, Mrs. Yu hid very well, so they couldn't find any clues. Remembering all the bad attitudes he had towards his wife before, made the feeling of guilt in him even stronger. Not long after, when Ju Young participated in volunteer activities organized by the company, she unexpectedly saw the mother they had been searching for so long. She deliberately ran away, which made Ju Young very angry. She warned that if her mother kept disappearing like this without saying a word, she would never forgive her again. Mrs. Yu had no choice but to promise that she wouldn't run away again in the future. After that, Ju Young told Ju Mi and Wu Jin the news. They quickly ran over to persuade their mom to go to the hospital for treatment. Afraid that his wife would refuse, the chairman even called an ambulance directly to the apartment downstairs. Finally, Mrs. Yu agreed to go to the hospital for preliminary treatment. They had to wait until a suitable bone marrow match was found before they could perform surgery. After completing the initial treatment, she was arranged to be discharged from the hospital. But she refused to go home because she had divorced the chairman. They understood this, so Ju Mi followed her mother back to the apartment and slept with her for one night. The chairman knew that Mrs. Yu had psychological barriers towards him, so he went there in person. Under the persuasion of the domineering chairman, Mrs. Yu finally obediently packed her luggage and then followed the chairman home. The whole family was overjoyed when they witnessed this. The chairman knew that his wife had psychological barriers towards him because they were divorced, so he also specially arranged 2 beds. Even though the old couple slept separately, the little hands of love were tightly clasped together. After finding out that his wife was ill, the chairman decided to change his lifestyle. He didn't want her to serve him anymore and was determined to take good care of his wife. To prevent her mom from overworking, Ju Mi also quit her job to help her share the housework. Seeing this, who loved to be pampered, also had the idea of dropping out of school, but the chairman stopped her. At the same time, the uncle's family also found out about Mrs. Yu's condition. They gathered and prepared to go to the hospital for a checkup to see if their bone marrow matched Mrs. Yu's. Ju Mi's grandmothers were too old and no longer met the requirements for donating marrow. Ju Mi and Ju Young also couldn't find a match. After that, Mrs. Yu's health got weaker, and she had nosebleeds more and more frequently. Seeing this, Ju Mi quickly took her mom to the hospital for emergency treatment. Fortunately, the situation was brought under control after treatment, and her family breathed a sigh of relief. While she was hospitalized, the chairman felt very uncomfortable looking at the empty room. He took the initiative to call and chat with his wife. They also felt that the chairman was still full of affection for their mom. At this time, So-ah also came and offered to stay at the hospital with Mrs. Yu, telling Wu Jin and the others to go back and get some rest. When they returned home from the hospital, Ju Mi was so tired that she went back to sleep. Wu Jin carefully carried her from the car to the bedroom. This scene reminded the two of them of their honeymoon night. Wu Jin also carried Ju Mi back to the hospital bed. Thinking of this, the two of them couldn't help but laugh. Not long after, Mrs. Yu was discharged from the hospital. The chairman specially prepared a room full of flowers for her. Ju Mi celebrated her mom's discharge by preparing a big feast with sumptuous dishes. The whole family enjoyed it together with the feeling of family happiness. At this time, the hospital also had good news. They had found a suitable bone marrow donor. As long as the bone marrow transplant was successful, the disease could be cured. The family members were very happy when they heard the news. The chairman was so happy that he couldn't sleep. He said that when she recovered, they would have a fun trip. Mrs. Yu then had her hair cut to begin transplant surgery. Although the chemotherapy process was very difficult, with Ju Mi and the rest of her family by her side, Mrs. Yu was filled with hope for the future. Ever since the former daughter-in-law began surgery, even though Ju Mi's grandmothers couldn't help much, they folded paper cranes to pray. Perhaps it was the sincerity of the family members that moved God. After the difficult and painful chemotherapy, Mrs. Yu's white blood cell count gradually increased. The doctor announced that the bone marrow transplant was successful. As the cancer cells continued to decrease, she could recover and be discharged from the hospital. Wu Jin was very happy and quickly told his mother-in-law this news. Although the treatment was now very painful, she was full of hope for the future. Ju Young also told her grandmother the news. The grandmothers clapped and cheered after hearing this. Their prayers had finally worked. However, afterward, God played a big joke on them. The doctor said the transplant had failed. All of the previous white blood cells had turned cancerous. Now Mrs. Yu had acute leukemia, and the condition was even worse than before. The whole family's mood suddenly plummeted to the bottom. Now they had to face two choices: either give up treatment and bring her home to enjoy her last moments with her family, or continue treatment, but Mrs. Yu would have to endure extreme pain, and the rate of successful recovery was very low. Mrs. Yu chose to give up because she didn't want to leave the world lying on a hospital bed. At first, the chairman completely disagreed, but then he saw his wife lying alone in the sterile room, very lonely. He thought that was worse than death. Knowing that there wasn't much hope left in treatment, the chairman decided to bring his wife home. In the days that followed, the whole family worked hard to take care of her. Now, no matter what Mrs. Yu wanted to do, the chairman would support her unconditionally, but Mrs. Yu's health would deteriorate rapidly. Seeing that her time was running out, she went to the zoo with Ju Mi and Ju Young. This was also the first outing between the three mothers and daughters in over 20 years. Even though the weather was very cold, it didn't affect their mood at all. They also took a lot of pictures as souvenirs. The two sisters felt the love of a mother. Afterward, the chairman also prepared a gift for his wife. It was a ballet music box, because he still remembered that she had said that her childhood dream was to become a dancer. This made Mrs. Yu very touched. As Mrs. Yu's condition gradually worsened, the family became very worried. The grandmothers also went with Ju Mi to visit her. Seeing her former daughter-in-law's painful body like that, the grandmothers were very heartbroken. At this time, the grandmothers also felt extremely regretful. Back then, they had ruthlessly kicked their daughter-in-law out of the house. They regretted their wrongdoings. Although the current situation was extremely tragic, at least Mrs. Yu and her mother-in-law had finally reached reconciliation. A little while later, Wu Bin's mom also came to visit Mrs. Yu. At this time, Mrs. Yu still couldn't forget about Ju Young and Wu Bin's situation. She begged her sister-in-law to forgive her. She said it was all her fault and hoped Mrs. Min would stop blaming Ju Young. She begged her sister-in-law not to stop the kids anymore. Wu Bin's mom saw that Mrs. Yu was also about to leave this world, so all the resentment in her heart vanished. Although she didn't know if Wu Bin and Ju Young could still get together, She had completely forgiven Mrs. Yu. Afterward, the chairman wanted to take his wife to see a ballet performance, but her health was no longer convenient for traveling. So Wu Jin bought a projector, and they watched it at home. She was very touched by this, so she held Wu Jin and Ju Mi in her arms. This was the first time, and also the last time she hugged them. That night, Mrs. Yu sat quietly next to the chairman, enjoying the ballet performance together. She slowly leaned into the chairman's arms, and then happily passed away. 1 year later, Ju Mi was pregnant again. The young couple was very excited about this. The chairman was overjoyed when he found out. He quickly told his wife the good news, hoping that her spirit in heaven would protect the child. And Ju Young afterward opened a shoe store through her efforts. She and Wu Bin also unexpectedly met again. The future of both of them was also filled with beautiful dreams. This is the end of the movie. 1,000 kisses. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you in the next movie.